What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Join my Discord if you want to chat and share your thoughts, the link is in the description. 3KC76 Kyoto Sister School Exchange Meeting. I've already said it before, there won't be a second time. Sukuna raised his hand and instantly dealt 2 slashing attacks, severely injuring the real person. For Sukuna, whether it's Nanami or the real person who dies, it doesn't matter. The only thing he's curious about is Fushiguro Megumi, and the existence that makes him look up to, Bai Ye. Other than that, he doesn't care from the bottom of his heart. His only style of action is whether he's happy or not. After severely injuring the real person, Sukuna looked solemnly at Bai Ye, who was faintly visible not far away. I don't want to meet that guy so easily, at least not until I fully recover. A sense of fear? It's really an unpleasant feeling. With the real person's injury, the domain also collapsed. Exhausting the last bit of curse power and losing the last means, the real person dared not hesitate anymore and immediately transformed and escaped. Itadori hesitated for only 0.1 second and the real person escaped. Nanami also hurriedly made a move, but it was still a step too late. Just as Nanami finished contacting his junior, Butano Takuma, to help search for the real person and planned to catch up with Itadori. When he turned around, he found that the heavily injured Itadori had already fallen to the ground and was gradually losing consciousness. Inside the sewer, the real person narrowly escaped a disaster. While gasping for breath, he was grateful that Bai Ye didn't attack him. Otherwise, there's no way he could have escaped so easily. Ha ha ha. I am so lucky. Although I don't know why he didn't stop me, I can be sure that if I can win over Sukuna, there is a real possibility of defeating him. Truly worthy of being the king of curses, even though the total amount of curse power at this stage is clearly less than that of Ryuman Sukuna, it has such a strong presence. Now I'm certain, even if we are all wiped out, as long as we can resurrect Sukuna, we can usher in the era of curses. But, damn it, I can't control my desire to kill that guy right now. Dragging his exhausted body back to the base. Advertisement. The real person said heavily to the others, after coming into contact with that guy and Sukuna, I think we can start by focusing on Xiaoyu's plan. Sukuna is worth it. Having recovered quite a bit, Ryuman showed a black tooth and said, collecting all the fingers and offering them to Sukuna, huh? Even if we are all ultimately destroyed, right? Alright then. It doesn't have to be me who laughs loudly on the wasteland 100 years later, as long as curses can exist in the world like humans. Well then, let's first go and retrieve the 6 fingers that Kamo preserved, said Xia Youjie. Is it necessary? Ryuman questioned. Aren't the sorcerers keeping Itadori Yuji alive so that he can absorb Sukuna's fingers? Even if we leave them alone, he will eventually consume them, Xia Youjie explained in response to Ryuman's question. The higher-ups at Kamo still don't understand the strength of Itadori Yuji as a vessel. They don't know at which finger he will go berserk. We should wait until we have collected all the fingers before giving them to him. But what if we can't wait until then? It's not just Gojo Satoru, there is another existence that is no weaker than Gojo Satoru. They definitely won't just wait for us. The worst possibility is that Itadori Yuji might be eliminated by the higher-ups. Ryuman asked, what should we do then? Xia Youjie stood up, looking confident, and said, I have already made arrangements. That's why I had Kamo retrieve the fingers. On the side of the College of Higher Education, Gojo Satoru, who did not participate in this incident, found Bai Ye. Teacher Bai Ye, it's better for you to directly teach Itadori Yuji, as expected. Under the teaching plan arranged by the teacher, Itadori's strength has improved significantly. Compared to when Itadori was taught by me, I completely lack the talent to be a teacher compared to teacher Bai Ye. I have disappointed you. Gojo Satoru buried his head deeply. Bai Ye looked at the depressed Gojo Satoru with a displeased expression and sighed. Gojo has done well enough. Gojo Satoru's inner thoughts. Great, teacher Bai Ye didn't blame me, and I even received praise. I also want to directly teach them, but Gojo should know that my identity is too sensitive and cannot be revealed to the higher-ups of the College of Higher Education. So it's better for fewer people to know me. Let him take on some more difficult missions when there's a chance. Speaking of this, Bai Ye reminded again, the exchange event at Kyoto School should target Itadori. Advertisement. And those curses they encountered before might take this opportunity to eliminate the sorcerers of their generation and break the lineage of Jujutsu. So, be careful. Huh? Gojo Satoru was quite surprised to hear this possibility. Is teacher Bai Ye serious? Although he was already very convinced in his heart that Bai Ye would not lie, he couldn't help but ask. This is just my intuition. Bai Ye said, I guess the other side can't sit still anymore. They might have found a way to deal with Gojo and me. Being a little cautious is never wrong. Yes, I will always remember teacher Bai Ye's teachings, Gojo Satoru responded loudly. When did teacher Bai Ye ever go wrong? Teacher Bai Ye is a god who can foresee the future. Since the teacher said so, there must be something bad that will happen. I need to be careful. After the conversation with Bai Ye, Gojo Satoru returned to the college. With Nanami's disgusted expression, he discussed with Itadori how to surprise everyone. Meanwhile, on the other side, Bai Ye leaned against a tree trunk, watching the slightly foolish Wild Roses, a smile appearing on his lips. Why are you all empty-handed? Wild Roses, with one hand dragging a suitcase and the other carrying a bag, asked in surprise. Seeing Wild Roses in this state, Fushiguro and the others looked puzzled. Panda was the first to speak, asking, "Why are you carrying luggage?" "Why? Aren't we going to Kyoto next? For the exchange meeting with our sister school in Kyoto," Wild Roses weakly said. "It's an exchange meeting with our sister school in Kyoto, held in Tokyo," Panda explained. No way. In an instant, Wild Roses became downcast. The others all had awkward expressions, except for Bai Ye, who was hiding in the courtyard, with a faint smile on his lips. Next, it's time for Hanami and the others to fulfill their promise. Bai Ye muttered to himself, if they don't come, they will be exorcised. 77 Gojo Satoru underdrawn, Bai Ye's coercion and temptation. When the Wild Rose complained about why the Tokyo school won last year, the Kyoto school, led by Iori Yutahime, arrived. In the tense atmosphere as soon as they met, Yutahime said impatiently, "All right, stop fighting among yourselves. These kids, really?" Glancing at the Wild Rose and the others, they didn't see Gojo Satoru, who should have appeared here as the leader of the Tokyo school. Yutahime couldn't help but ask, "Where's that idiot?" Although she didn't directly say who the idiot was, Panda and Maki seemed to agree with Yutahime's words. "He's late," Panda said. "That idiot couldn't possibly be on time," said Zin and Maki. No one said the idiot referred to Gojo-sensei, Fushiguro Megumi sighed. Just then, a voice came from behind them. Everyone turned to see Gojo Satoru pushing a cart with a box, wearing his usual thin smile as he greeted them. "Sorry to keep you waiting." Upon seeing Gojo Satoru, Yutahime made a disgusted face and muttered, "Gojo Satoru." But Gojo Satoru didn't notice Yutahime's displeasure at all and said to himself, "Oh my, is everyone here? Just a while ago, I went on a business trip abroad. Next, I'll give everyone a souvenir." Saying that, he distributed plush dolls resembling cursed dolls to Todo Aoi and the others from the cart. When he finished giving out the last one, Yutahime still hadn't received a souvenir, and Gojo Satoru, instead of showing any remorse, deliberately said, "No souvenir for Yutahime." Angry, Yutahime said angrily, "I don't want it." But Gojo Satoru completely ignored her anger, turned around, and pushed the cart over, with a self-satisfied expression, saying, "And this is for everyone in Tokyo." All of them, including Bara, showed their disgust at his self-satisfaction. Especially Wild Rose, who sarcastically said, "Emotionally charged adults are so disgusting." Just then, the box on the cart suddenly opened, and Itadori, in high spirits, emerged from it. Gojo Satoru also created a surprise atmosphere and said, "It's the late Itadori Yuji." However, the atmosphere instantly became awkward. Wild Roses, upon seeing Itadori, all turned to stone in an instant. There was no trace of surprise on their faces. It was completely different from what Itadori had imagined, a scene that would move him to tears. Meanwhile, at the Kyoto school, everyone was immersed in the exchange of gifts. The only one who reacted with shock and excitement to Itadori's resurrection was the headmaster of the Kyoto school, Gakuganji Yoshinobu. "Sukuna's vessel, didn't he die? What's going on?" Seeing the shocked expression on Gakuganji Yoshinobu's face, Gojo Satoru recalled what Bai Ye had said. This time, the Kyoto school might take action against Itadori. Advertisement Gojo Satoru understood this statement as Gakuganji Yoshinobu possibly giving the order to kill Itadori's fellow students at the Kyoto school. This conservative old man is capable of such a thing. That was Gojo Satoru's judgment. He had no good feelings towards someone who wanted to take away the youth of young people. With a smile on his face, he said provocatively, "Headmaster Gakuganji." "Oh, great, just great. I was worried about what would happen if you were too shocked and passed away." Gakuganji Yoshinobu, full of anger, said, "You little brat." While the atmosphere was tense on one side, it was equally cold on the other. Wild Roses, with a stubborn expression on their faces, bit their lips and walked to the cart, coldly saying, "Hey. Don't you have anything to say?" After watching this amusing and bizarre meeting scene, Bai Ye turned around and left. No one noticed any trace of Bai Ye's presence. Shortly after, Bai Ye appeared outside a hidden basement with Magician. And before him was the mechanical body with countless IV drips attached. "Who are you? How did you know about this place?" Feeling the sudden arrival of a stranger, Machimaru was instantly startled. He immediately controlled his puppets to block Bai Ye's path. "Machimaru Miwa Kasumi is very cute, isn't she?" Bai Ye said with a playful smile at the corner of his mouth. Upon hearing Miwa Kasumi's name, Machimaru was suddenly enraged. What did you say? If you dare to touch her, I will never let you go. Otaku really understand things well. Bai Ye shook his head gently and disappeared in an instant. Just as Machimaru finished threatening Bai Ye, he was suddenly shocked, with cold sweat running down his back. In an instant, Bai Ye passed through countless puppets and stood by his side. One hand had unknowingly rested on his shoulder. The speed was so fast that he didn't even have time to react. If Bai Ye wanted to attack him, he would already be a dead man. But Bai Ye didn't make a move. Machimaru realized the gap between the two and understood that the other party had no intention of attacking him for the time being. Calm down, Machimaru. Advertisement, we are not enemies. On the contrary, I am here to make a deal with you. Bai Ye gently patted Machimaru's shoulder, seeking applause. A deal? Machimaru's face showed caution and distrust. That's right. You want to regain your health and personally approach Miwa Kasumi, don't you? Not only do I know that you like Miwa Kasumi, but I also know that you are in contact with Curse. Bai Ye's voice was very calm, not surprised at all, as if he knew everything from beginning to end. But Machimaru was different, his face was filled with horror. Ignoring Machimaru's surprise, Bai Ye continued, "You're willing to betray your comrades just to restore normalcy and then personally apologize to them? Since that's the case, I don't think you have a reason to refuse me." Machimaru had a look on his face that completely revealed Bai Ye's insight. After weighing his options, he finally spoke, "What kind of deal?" "I want you to help me bring someone into the exchange meeting venue," Bai Ye said, then immediately corrected himself. "No, more accurately, I want you to bring a curse in. But in return, I will help you restore normalcy." Upon hearing the word, curse, Machimaru was instantly shocked. There was also a hint of hostility in his gaze towards Bai Ye. "You can cure my body?" That's right. Machimaru didn't believe Bai Ye's words at all. Moreover, he had already made a deal with Xia Youjie. As long as he betrayed the information, Xia Youjie would have a way to cure his body. And this person in front of him, whose identity was unknown, gave him a more dangerous feeling than Xia Youjie. And more mysterious, he wasn't confident that he could handle Bai Ye. "What if I refuse?" Bai Ye smiled faintly. "I said you have no reason to refuse. Xia Youjie doesn't know the significance of Miwa Kasumi to you, right?" Bai Ye's words carried a faint threat. "Moreover, do you really think Xia Youjie will ultimately let you go? The preparations you've made against them are in vain. They are not opponents that can be measured by your level." Bai Ye paused, sighed, and continued, "Even if Xia Youjie is willing to spare you, do you think you can openly and honestly meet Miwa Kasumi with your actions? Gaoxuan probably won't let you off. In the end, you won't escape death. If you die, you won't be able to see the person you want to see, right?" Bai Ye's voice was devoid of any falsehood, just stating a fact. Machimaru fell into deep contemplation after listening. "And as for me, although I temporarily can't change the punishment Gaoxuan will give you once he knows what you've done, I can give you the opportunity to secretly protect the person you want to protect." 78 What kind of bad intentions can a straight man have in his late-stage Gojo Satoru? The first day of the Kyoto Sister School exchange meeting. Team battle. It is a tense and exciting battle against spell spirits. A prepared secondary curse was placed in the designated area. The condition for winning is the team that removes the second-level curse first wins. In addition, a large number of curses below level 3 were placed in the area. If there is no winner before dark, the team with the larger number of crusades wins. Obstructing an opponent is also permitted. Other than that, there are no rules. However, the purpose of the exchange meeting is to understand your companions and yourself in the competition, so you cannot kill your opponent or cause irreparable damage to your opponent. After the above introductions to everyone, both parties make their own plans. When the Tokyo school discussed how to deal with the enemy, the Kyoto school did exactly what Bai Ye said. Leian Temple Jiashin ordered the participating students to kill the knotweed, 313. The mechanical pill mixed in it also behaved as usual, without showing any abnormality. When the two sides were discussing their respective countermeasures, Gojo Satoru, who thought he had to do something for Bai Ye, asked NJG out. Open black lens bracket teacher Bai Ye said that there may be some people in the school colluding with the curse or the curse master. Open black lens bracket is a disciple of teacher Bai Ye, and also the only one who knows the great plan of teacher Bai Ye. I have to do something, close black lens bracket. With this in mind, he found the only trustworthy nunnery girl at the Kyoto school. Although very dissatisfied with Gojo Satoru, Ange-ji, who received the invitation, still accepted the invitation. "What do you find me for?" Engeji's voice was full of displeasure, and she didn't even look at Wu Tiaoyu when she spoke. As a straight man, Gojo Satoru also sensed her displeasure, and asked directly, "Huh? Why are you angry?" Regarding Gojo Satoru's question, Ange-ji was even more upset. "I am not angry, that's right, I didn't do anything," Gojo Satoru said immediately without realizing it. Hearing that Gojo Satoru didn't reflect at all, The Ji, who was just a little upset at first, showed a small angry expression on her face. Gojo Satoru seemed to have not seen it, and directly stated the reason for looking for the singer this time. Someone in the high school colluded with the curse master or the curse spirit. The diva was startled immediately, and she didn't care to get angry and said, "Impossible. Forget about the curse master. How is it possible for the curse spirit?" Gojo Satoru rarely explained seriously. Spell spirits of that level keep popping up recently. Understand people's words, form cliques, act according to plan. Maybe the prisoner also thinks that he is just in collusion with the curse master. In Kyoto, I would like to ask Diva to help with the investigation. Advertisement and JG was silent for a while after listening. Then, with a dignified expression, he asked a little selfishly, "What would you do if I was the traitor?" Gojo Satoru, who didn't understand what the singer meant at all, replied frivolously, No, the singer is so weak, and she doesn't have the guts." Crash. The irritated diva threw the teacup out of her hand. The tea was blocked by the barrier in front of Wujo Wu. Horrible. No one likes a hysterical woman, but senior. Soon after, both sides finished their preparations, and the exchange meeting entered the final lecture stage. The teachers who were supposed to lead the teams from both sides gave speeches respectively, but Gojo Satoru pushed this responsibility onto the singer without any psychological pressure. There is 1 minute left before the start of the competition. Let's invite Teacher Diva to give us an inspiring speech. Ah. The diva sitting beside her was suddenly surprised and unhappy. But she still managed to hold back a few words. However, Wu Tiao directly interrupted before she could finish the words she managed to organize. Okay, it's time. Gojo Satoru. You be ********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** to seniors. However, Gojo Satoru didn't seem to see it, and he didn't intend to talk nonsense, and directly announced. Then, the sister school exchange meeting officially begins. After receiving the start signal, everyone immediately acted according to the plan. And at the same time, in the established early placement area, the second level is actually a quasi-level 1 curse not far away. A sneer appeared on the corner of Bai Ye's mouth. Has even the quasi-level 1 curse been released? Jiashan of Leian Temple is really cautious enough, but if he thinks that he can get rid of the knotweed stick in this way, it would be too ridiculous. Let me teach you a lesson, stubborn old bastards who think they're still in control. With the help of Jijiwan, Hanayu was indeed sent to the area. And outside the area, in the high school, the real person who also had a plan appeared with 2 curse masters. The other side. After Bai Ye left from the quasi-first level curse, he quickly found Dongtang Aoi who was planning to ambush the Tokyo school alone. Before he took action, advertisement Dongtang Aoi, whose strength has reached the first level, suddenly felt a breeze blowing by, and his whole body became cold. An unclear but extremely powerful figure appeared behind him. Open black lens bracket when, close black lens bracket open black lens bracket I can't move my body, close black lens bracket when he was horrified, the figure spoke. Todo Aoi, what type of girl do you like? Dongtang Aoi was shocked. Very familiar words poured into his mind, that's his mantra. As for those who know this sentence, there is only one person who thinks of it, Special Grade Magician 99 Yuki. It is also the origin of his catchphrase. As for the person in front of him, Dongtang Aoi is absolutely sure that he does not know him. But he knew this sentence, he couldn't figure out the relationship among them, but this didn't prevent him from realizing one thing. This man is strong. Incredibly strong. The corners of Bai Ye's mouth curled up in response to Dongtang Kuai's reaction. Go to the hardy battle, and then harvest your best friends. After Bai Ye finished speaking, he disappeared before his eyes without anyone noticing. As the pressure suddenly disappeared, Dongtang Aoi broke out in a cold sweat. However, the guy who can say such things must not be human. If he was an enemy, we would have been wiped out in 1.8. This kind of power is really exciting. What evil can a man like him have? For some reason, Todo Aoi made a judgment. There was also a thought in his heart that he wanted to challenge Bai Ye, but he knew it was not now. Then he turned his gaze to Hu Zhang and the others who were not far away, and said to himself with a hint of expectation at the corner of his mouth, best friend? Who is the one? Call your best friends to challenge him together. With such expectations, Dongtang Aoi blatantly destroyed the surrounding trees alone, and then appeared in front of Knotweed and the others with a big thorn. Very good, all of you are here, let's go together. 79 gone. It's a close friend. Let's fight. The moment Aoi Todo appeared, Knotweed also moved. According to the previous plan, the Knotweed was responsible for dragging Dongtang. Even though he knew that the opponent was a first-level magician, after this period of actual combat, the strength of Polygonum Cuspidatum has also been greatly improved. He is still very confident in holding the opponent. Not to mention, he has a winning heart. The battle between the two broke out in an instant, you come and go, fist to flesh. Every blow does not mean to release water. After a fight, the tenacity of the knotweed aroused Dongtang's interest. Kabashi Yujin, I have a question for you. What is your favorite type of woman? The knotweed on the opposite side was taken aback. What type of woman do you like? Why are you asking this all of a sudden? Don't worry, it's just an appraisal. Dongtang Aoi looked forward to the answer of Polygonum cuspidatum. After 2 seconds of silence, Knotweed gave his answer. Although I don't really understand what you want to do, but if you insist on saying 15, it should be a tall girl with a big bust. At this moment, a memory that did not exist appeared in Todo Aoi's mind. His memories of reading with Knotweed, laugh together, grieve together, and relieve boredom together. And this false memory is sweeter than the truth. Unknowingly, even Dongtang Aoi, who had raised her head to stop the tears, still burst into tears. At this time, Dongtang finally understood what Bai Ye said. Open black lens bracket ah, so he already knew it. Close black lens bracket open black lens bracket, so that's what it means. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Kabashi Yuhito is my best friend. Close black lens bracket open black lens bracket thanks you. Close black lens bracket. Dongtang Kui thanked Bai Ye in his heart. Haven't you ever lost at home? Looks like we're best friends. Advertisement. Dongtang Aoi, who came back to his senses, looked at the bewildered knotweed in front of him and said to himself. At the same time, everyone from the Jingdu school had completed the siege of the knotweed and launched their own attacks. Regarding the siege of knotweed, Bai Ye just leisurely watched the battle from the sidelines. At the moment when everyone's attack was about to launch, Aoi Todo, who had been standing aside, finally reacted. Snapped. Clap your hands. The positions of Knotweed and Kenji Kamo are switched instantly. Knotweed appears in a safe place, and Kenji Kamo is the target of public criticism. This is Todo Aoi's technique. In Justice Game, and Bai Ye also received a system prompt at the same time, successfully copied the spell, Unrighteous Game. Seeing that the duel between herself and her best friend was disturbed by everyone, Todo Aoi was quite upset, and directly punched Kamo Kenki directly at the place where Kamo Kenji was standing. I've said it before, if you dare to interfere with my business, I will kill you. Cold sweat broke out on Kamo Kenji's forehead. He really didn't expect their actions to make Todo Aoi so disgusted. No, what you said was to command you, so let's shoot and kill. It's all the same. Get out. Dongtang's voice was full of threats. Seeing Todo's serious look, Kenji Kamo was helpless, and decided to retreat after a little thought. But before leaving, he said again, remember to kill him properly. But Dongtang dismissed this order. That depends on the knotweed. After all, I'm not the kind of vulgar man who would release water just because the opponent is a close friend. While everyone from the Kyoto school was retreating, the people from the Tokyo school who noticed the abnormality were also moving closer to the knotweed. The two sides collided. The battle is imminent. However, their fight did not affect the duel between Knotweed and Aoi Todo. After another fight, Dongtang Aoi was very satisfied with the performance of Polygonum cuspidatum, but there was one thing he could not accept. It is the magic power of the knotweed that hits half a beat later than the blow. Wrong. Advertisement. Knotweed, your delayed spell power is that your bad habit. If you're content with that stuff, you won't win. Looking at Dongtang Aoi, who was still fighting 1 second, but suddenly gave a preaching attitude the next second, Knotweed looked puzzled. If you are satisfied with that level, we can't be close friends. Dongtang Aoi said with a face of regret. What to do, it doesn't matter. Polygonum cuspidatum looked puzzled, not knowing how to answer Dongtang Kui. Is it really possible? Isn't it okay to be a weak chicken all the time? Seeing that Polygonum cuspidatum has no passion for the battle between close friends, Dongtang Aoi directly uses the aggressive method. And the knotweed was also stimulated by his words, and the magic power gathered between the fists. With firm eyes, he replied 720, of course not. My best friend. Seeing that the knotweed was finally full of fighting spirit, Todo always said energetically, let's use our fists to deepen our friendship. You also think that only such fists can reflect friendship, right? Call, stimulated by Dongtang, knotweed sticks out a more powerful fist. Each hit is stronger than the last, every punch represents a growth. And Bai Ye, who had been watching the battle from the sidelines, couldn't help but nodded. Sure enough, under pressure, Polygonum cuspidatum can grow rapidly. And Dongtang Aoi is the most suitable candidate at present. Help your best friend grow. Todo Aoi. While Bai Ye was thinking about it, Knotweed also realized something from Dongtang Kui's words. Dongtang even felt the awareness of Polygonum cuspidatum, and he was full of expectations for Polygonum cuspidatum. Open black lens bracket, let me do my best to guide you to swing a stronger fist. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, don't die, dear friend. Close black lens bracket, open black lens bracket, climb up. climb to the top. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, then let's have a duel between real men. Close black lens bracket. 80 Hanao's restraint, Fukuro Megumi's imaginary enemy. After the teaching battle between Polygonum Cuspidatum and Dongtang got better, Bai Ye did not stay here any longer. Instead, check the situation in various battlefields throughout the region. A battlefield. Miwa Kasumi, whose weapon was taken away by Maki, stared blankly at the empty space in front of her. My knife was taken away. Jenny's elder sister didn't know where she went. After all, she ran too fast. However, I don't have much fighting power without a knife, and her judgment is very correct. While she was talking to herself, the phone rang suddenly. It was Jiwon calling. Hello, I'm the trash 3 rounds. Go to sleep. Hiss. Without thinking too much, Sanlun Sha connected the phone, but the voice from the phone wasn't Jijiwon. And under Guwon's spell, she was forced to enter Mengxiang. One place outside the order. Maki has already arrived at Jenny's side, and Nagasaki Wild Rose has just been eliminated. Watching the confrontation between the two sisters, Bai Ye stopped walking with great interest. It seems that the time is almost up. Hana Yu should have started to act, right? Give me a good workout for them, otherwise, the bondage will not be easily lifted. Bai Ye looked in the direction of Hua Yu, and a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Then continued to watch the battle here. During the battle between the two sisters, Maki and Maki, Bai Ye duplicated Maki's incantation, construction spell. Outside the area, in the room where everyone is watching the battle. The charms pasted on the wall to represent the destruction of the cursed spirit burned together instantly. It's a red flame, immediately attracted everyone's attention. Especially Gojo Satoru. Not only did he not have the slightest nervousness and doubts in his heart, but he was quite excited. Advertisement. Open black lens bracket. Sure enough. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Teacher Bai Ye's guess is not wrong at all. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Along the way, Teacher Bai Ye has foreseen countless times of similar crisis moments. I really can't imagine how much Teacher Bai Ye knows. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. To have such a teacher is what all disciples yearn for. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. As a disciple of Teacher Bai Ye, I should be even more proud of this. Close black lens bracket. The group battle is over, and all of them were wiped out by the Tokyo school, and Geji couldn't help but say. Mingming, who exists as an eyeliner, also had some doubts. It's so strange, the crows didn't see all of them. Gojo Satoru also pretended to be calm and said, although I also hope that the students of the spicy teacher Gojo will exterminate. But unregistered spell power will also ignite red flames. Yi Mozangdao answered the words and said what Gojo Satoru hadn't finished. After saying this, everyone except Wuzhou Wu realized a problem. Someone has invaded the high school. When they took action, the real people had already started their actions. And the account of refusing to enter Wutawu was also lowered by the curse master fooled by Xia Youjie. When Gojo Satoru, Leonci Cashin and Diva arrived, they suddenly discovered that the effect of the tent was rejecting Gojo Satoru. But this instead made Gojo Satoru excited. Open black lens bracket. About this point, Mr. Rie also expected it. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Moreover, Mr. Bai Ye guessed that he might also be targeted. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. However, judging from the current situation, it has not been achieved to that extent. Is it unexpected? No, there should be no way to do it. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Reject Teacher Bai Ye's account. Close black lens bracket. I really can't imagine what kind of price you need to pay to make such an account. I'm afraid the biggest possibility is that it can't be done at all. Gojo Satoru's conjecture is almost the same as the truth. It's not that Xia Youjie doesn't want to do it, but that he can't do it at all. Wutawu was able to do it because they knew Wutawu's information. As for Bai Ye, I don't know anything except knowing that he is stronger than Gojo Satoru. What's more, the price to be paid to achieve that level is not worth the loss. In the area covered by the tent, everyone has noticed the existence of the account. Advertisement. At the same time, there is a strong curse breath. The source of breath is Hanao, chasing and killing Gumaki all the way until Fuguro Wei and Kamo Kenji were involved, and then they were intercepted in a building belonging to a high school. The terrifying breath made the three of them sweat on their foreheads. All looked solemn, but what they don't know is that Hana Yu, who is bringing them tremendous pressure, is also sweating on his forehead. The movement suddenly stagnated, and I dare not make any more movements. Hua Yu is a curse born of human beings' fear of the forest, so every flower, plant and tree is his eyeliner. And on one of his eyeliners, Bai Ye is looking at what's going on here with a smile on his face. Although Bai Ye didn't exude any killing intent, Hua Yu still felt that there was infinite terror in that smile. It is a terrifying existence that can easily exorcise him. Why is there a cursed spirit in the high school? Who made the bill? Kenji Kamo, who didn't know why, said in a deep voice. I guess it was put down by the curse master who teamed up with this cursed spirit, Fu Heiwei said coldly. At the same time, the figure of Bai Ye, who he presumed to be the suspected enemy, appeared in his mind. Open black lens bracket. If he is an enemy, it makes sense that such a powerful cursed spirit will appear in the high school. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Given his strength, I'm afraid he's playing tricks on the palm of his hand. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Mr. Gojo. I'm afraid he's not his opponent. Perhaps only the person that Mr. Gojo said has the possibility of defeating him. Close black lens bracket. Okay. Do you know anything? Seeing that Fuguro seemed to know something, Kenji Kamo couldn't help asking. It should be the super magic spirit master who attacked Wujiao teacher before. Anyway, let's contact Mr. Wujiao first. Fu Hei took out his mobile phone to call Wujiao Wu, and continued. Considering that the other party may use field, let's keep a certain distance and go to Mr. Wujiao. Before they finished speaking, Hua Yu's figure suddenly appeared in front of them, destroying Fu Hei's phone at a speed that the three of them couldn't even react to. During the whole process, Hana Yu was completely passive. It was Bai Ye who used the effect of the spell to force Hana to act. The scene was deadlocked for a moment. Not only Fu Hei and the others, but even Hua Yui was extremely shocked. The body is completely out of his control. 81 Control the audience, the bottleneck of knotweed. Free time. Bai Ye quickly released the control of Hua Yu with a spell. And taking advantage of the moment when Hua Yu couldn't move, Fu Hei and the three of them quickly distanced themselves and launched attacks at the same time. Kenji Kamo didn't hold back at all, took out a bag of blood and directly used the red blood to manipulate Kinji to attack Hanao. However, his attack landed on Hanayu's head without causing any damage. Just after Kenji Kamo's attack ended, Megumi Kuro summoned Shikigami Wade to paralyze Hanao from the air. However, it was also blocked by Hua Yu, unscathed. After regaining his senses, Hua Yu looked at Bai Ye, who was still watching the battle from a distance, and uttered a burst of birdsong. Bai Ye understood what he was talking about, but he didn't answer, just looked at them coldly. After seeing that Bai Ye had no intention to stop, Hua Yu spoke to Fu Hei and the others in a voice that no one could understand, but could directly convey the meaning to the brain. Outside of the tent, Wujo pondered for a while, and immediately made a decision. 227. The Song Girl and the principal of Leian Temple went first to protect the students. The two did not hesitate, looked at each other and nodded, and decisively passed through the tent for Wu Tiaoyu. The moment they passed through, they sensed the powerful aura emanating from Hua Yu's body. Before they could take any action, a perverted bald cursor blocked their way with an axe in hand. Hey. Gojo Satoru didn't come. How can my coat rack be absent at a time like this? Damn it, that wine and meat monk dared to lie to me. Not seeing Gojo Satoru, the cursing teacher HDB Tanzao suddenly became a little annoyed. Feeling the opponent's spell power, even though Leonci Jiashin was an old man on the verge of death, he could still see the difficulty of the opponent. Immediately said in a deep voice, Diva, you go first, protect the students first, and try to avoid fighting. After analyzing the situation in front of him, Leian Temple handed over the task of protecting the students to Songji, who was more mobile. I stayed to deal with group tanning, BFFD, wait, at least let me kill a woman. Advertisement. The old man's brittle bones and wrinkled skin can't do anything. HDB Tanzai looked at Leonci with a displeased expression and showed the axe in his hand. In order to prevent the other party's actions, Leian Temple also took out its own spell tool, turned into a DJ and said coldly, Is it a fragile bone? Wait until you kill the old man to confirm. Hey, you're so old, what kind of rock and roll are you still playing, what kind of punk are you looking for? Hana here. After speaking the bird language, he attacked Fu Hei and the others again. And Bai Ye looked at Fu Hei and the three of them who were struggling to resist, and thought for a moment. Maki heard Bai Ye's voice. Bai Ye told Maki about Fu Hei's location and the situation. But when hearing this prompt, Maki didn't leave immediately. Instead, he froze in place with a surprised face. Is this voice? Open black lens bracket. I won't remember it wrong. It's him. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. The benefactor who used to support me all the way with one sentence. Close black lens bracket. The vague but tall figure of Bai Ye appeared in her mind. She was so excited that she shed tears. It was Bai Ye's words of encouragement that made Maki persist until now. He took off his glasses and wiped away his tears. Changshi picked up the jujing that was taken from the main wheel and hurried to follow the direction Yuya said. Similarly, in another battlefield, Dongtang Aoi, who was teaching knotweed, also received a reminder from Bai Ye. After stopping the fight, Dongtang Aoi looked at the direction Bai Ye said, and the corner of his mouth curled up. Open black lens bracket. The pressure I brought is not enough. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. If only me is the opponent, it will be difficult for Zuhei to become a feather. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. If the knotweed under that kind of pressure might really be able to complete that. Close black lens bracket. Best friend. Let's change the venue, Dongtang Aoi said with a soft smile. There seems to be a more suitable training opponent than me. Huh. Hu Zhang looked at Dongtang inexplicably surprised. Dongtang Aoi didn't explain carefully, but turned around and smiled at the knotweed. The one over there is stronger than me. Don't die, friend. Advertisement. Let's go. After speaking, Dongtang took the knotweed and set off. As for Fu Hei and the others, although they have tried their best to delay the time, the gap in strength is too great. The dog Curly Thorn was the first to be unable to hold on, and the entire defensive line that was struggling to maintain collapsed in an instant. Hana also seized this opportunity to punch Kamo Kenki, who had reached his limit, into the air. Among the three, Fu Hei is the only one who can still fight. Looking at Hua Yu, who was far stronger than them in front of him, Fu Hei's heart skipped a beat, just as he was about to show his true abilities. Zenyuan Maki arrived in time with Bai Ye's prompt. Clang. With a single cut, Hua Yu was unscathed, but the knife in the hands of the real emperor was broken. And Fu Hei also seized the opportunity to cooperate with Maki to make a move. Cut off the branches above Hanayu's eyes with one blow. After some attacks, the two gathered together. Needless to say, Fu Hei had already taken out the special magic tool, Yun Yun, that Maki gave him to keep. Maki, who took over Yu Yun, did not hesitate and did it directly. With the blessing of the special magic tool, Hua Yu was sent flying with one blow, and even caused a lot of damage to his arm. Fu Hei also took this opportunity to hide in the woods, and summoned the black jade dog to hold Hua Yu back. It was another attack by the two of them, cut off the branches on Hanayu's eyes. However, before the two of them could take the next move, Hanayu's technique, Bud, hit Fu Hei's abdomen. Benefit. Just when Maki was shaking, Hanayu caught her and was hit on her left shoulder. However, Hua Yu did not take advantage of the victory to pursue, and was always wary of Bai Ye in the distance. Bai Ye still didn't take any action, except for the corner of his mouth raised. There is no change from before. It seems that something is wrong. Hana quickly took a step back. At the same time, Dongtang and Polygonum Cuspidatum fell from the sky. Appeared where Hana was standing just now. 82 Mystery, Black Flash, a happy blow. Can it work? Knotweed. Forced to retreat Hua Yu, Dongtang asked the knotweed with a hint of joy in the corner of his mouth. Of course. Polygonum Cuspidatum did my part, looking eager to try. However, Fu Hei, who was seriously injured at the side, reminded nervously. Stop the knotweed stick. That guy is not something the few of us can handle. Before he finished speaking, Fu Hei coughed up blood because of his injury. Panda. Following Dongtang's shout, the panda suddenly appeared. After handing Maki to the panda, Dongtang said again, please take the two of them out of the tent. According to Nishinomiya, this tent is exclusively for Gojo Satoru, and we can come in and out freely. Wait a minute. After listening to Dongtang's explanation, Fu Hei still worried. No matter how powerful you are, you still. Fu Hei. It's fine. Before he could finish speaking, he was interrupted by the knotweed. Seeing the expectant look on the face of Polygonum Cuspidatum, Fu Hei seemed to understand something. And Dongtang also said at this time, it seems that you should have noticed that no one can interfere with the person who started to transform. The knotweed is in this state today. After understanding this point, Fu Hei no longer persisted, knowing that it would be useless for him to stay, but would become a burden instead. But before leaving, he was still unwilling to express his emotions, and shouted dishonestly, if you dare to die again, I will kill you. As if receiving Fu Hei's mood, the knotweed moved his body and said, oh, then you must not die. After the panda took Fu Hei and Maki away from the battlefield, Dongtang walked aside, folded his hands on his chest and said coldly, knotweed, I won't make a move. Unless you can successfully cast Black Flash. If you can't use Black Flash, then no matter what happens to you, I will definitely not rescue you. Understood. Polygonum Cuspidatum returned with a resolute expression. Facing them, Hua Yu looked at the two talking to themselves and couldn't help thinking for a while. Open black lens bracket Su Nuo's container also. A very imposing guy, close black lens bracket open black lens bracket in terms of total mana power, he is definitely below me, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket but it seems inexplicably calm. Is it because of the existence of that person? Close black lens bracket. Thinking of this, Hua Yu couldn't help but look up at Bai Ye in the distance. Open black lens bracket what is his plan? Close black lens bracket. conclude the bondage with me, and then let these low-level guys come to stop me. What is the intention? Advertisement open black lens bracket. Even without his shackles, we would seize this opportunity to invade Gaojian and steal the fingers stored in Gaojian. Why would he do so much? Close black lens bracket. A flash of lightning suddenly flashed across Hana Yu's mind. He thought of a terrible conjecture. Open black lens bracket. Could this guy know our plan? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. That's why he let these low-level guys come over. Just want to take this opportunity to train them and improve their level. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. No wonder he has been guarding the side all the time, just to prevent accidents. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. I suffered. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. If this is the case, wouldn't the effect of this account be counterproductive? Close black lens bracket. The real person is at risk of being killed. Hana Yu suddenly thought of the real person responsible for invading and stealing fingers, and Gojo Satoru, who was rejected by the account. A bad feeling rose in his heart. And at this time, the prepared Polygonum Cuspidatum asked with a dark expression on his face. Can you talk? I have something to ask you. Is there a humanoid ghoul with sutures all over your face? The voice of the knotweed was very low, and the suppressed anger could be heard. What if I say yes? Hua Yu's bird language was clearly expressed in the mind of the knotweed. For a moment, the knotweed thought of Yoshino Junpei, who was killed by the real person, and the injured Fuhei, and suddenly his anger darkened. The fist that gathered the magic power suddenly swung out. The difference between the strike and the impact of the mana is almost 0.000001 seconds. The aura on the body of the knotweed changed instantly. Black flash is about to come out, however, when the fist was swung, Hana dodged it. Knotweed's first attempt to play Black Flash failed. Dongtang Aoi is aware of the problem of Polygonum Cuspidatum. As a close friend, he must help the knotweed to grow for a hardy battle of best friends. Unceremoniously walking to the front of the knotweed is a slap in the face. Then start preaching. Hearing Dongtang's lecture, Bai Ye smiled wryly. What kind of bad line is that? A honeymoon between best friends? What the hell? Friendship between men. Maybe that's it. Bai Ye looked at Dongtang, who was forcibly helping Hu Zhang to calm down, and couldn't help sighing slightly. He really didn't understand. Advertisement, ask for flowers. Obviously there are other ways to do it, but such a brutal way. Friendship correction palm. Not only Bai Ye was speechless, but Hua Yu couldn't understand it even more. It was even thought that there was an internal strife between the two. But soon, Dongtang stopped and asked, how is the knotweed? Have your distracting thoughts disappeared? Well, it's clean. With the help of Dongtang, the tiger stick that calmed down was gearing up, and said in a self-confident voice. Thank you very much, my best friend. After the voice fell, Polygonum Cuspidatum entered a state of forgetting both things and me, and highly concentrated energy. In order to successfully use Black Flash, it is necessary to control the error between strike and spell power within 0.000001 seconds. At this time, the attack will produce space distortion, and the resulting power is the usual power of 2.5. Moreover, there is a huge difference in the distance from the core of the mantra between those who have experienced Black Flash and those who have not. Knotweed is at this critical point right now. Realizing that the situation is not optimistic, Hana Yu launched an attack on the knotweed. And the knotweed also flew out in an instant, and swung out with a highly concentrated punch. Space is distorted. Mantra shines black light. Knotweed successfully played the profound meaning, Black Flash. With one punch, Hua Yu's right hand was directly interrupted and turned into pieces. A wave of horror rose from Hua Yu's heart. I heard that Su Nuo's container is not mature enough as a magician, but now it seems that his growth rate is too fast. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. I see. I understand. That guy just wants me to stimulate their growth. Close black lens bracket. Hua Yu clenched her fist unwillingly, and her gaze fell to Bai Ye's side. Open black lens bracket. It's really annoying not being able to kill one or two. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. However, it would be nice to kill that enigmatic man now. Close black lens bracket. Hua Yu understands that the knotweed can't die as a container for Su Nuo, so she sets her target on Dongtang. His careful thinking was naturally understood by Bai Ye, but Bai Ye was very confident in Dongtang's strength, so it was no problem to entrust Hua Yu to him to deal with. What's more, the growth of Polygonum Cuspidatum during this period is not a star. The next step is to meet Chunta again. Bai Ye's eyes turned cold when he thought of the cursor who was as disgusting as a real person. P.S. I don't know why, but I feel that Changmi and C83 miraculous cursor, today is an unlucky day. When Hu Zhang and Dongtang fought side by side, and fought with Hua Yu to the death, Bai Ye confidently handed this over to the two of them. Go to the position close to the tent by yourself. just in time to see the Ainge Ji who was advancing at full speed, and the heavy-faced Haruta who was wretched. Meet Haruta again. I remember that his spell is Miracle, which erases all the small miracles in daily life from memory and stores them, and whenever life is at stake, the stored miracles will be released together, so that get away with it. HMPH, what a pathetic guy. Bai Ye snorted coldly, without those little miracles in daily life. You are a poor B************** D without youth. At this time, she was communicating with Nishinomiya on her mobile phone. Nishimiya, you continue to stay at the home entrance, and Miss Miwa Rimi will not be in danger. It seems that there is no misunderstanding, there are really people in the high school colluding with the curse master or the curse spirit. Close black lens bracket. 450. Hung up the phone, realizing that Wu Jiaoyu's previous guess was correct. And just as her thoughts were flying, a strong sense of disobedience came from behind her. A sharp blade slashed across the head. After the singer narrowly escaped, she turned around and saw two figures appearing in front of her. One is a curse master with a strange weapon in his hand, and the other one can't see clearly at all. Only a vague figure, but even so, Diva can feel the power of the figure. There is no trace of magic power leaking from the whole body, but it gives people the feeling of a tiger standing in front of the eyes of the magic power. Open black lens bracket this feeling. Close black lens bracket open black lens bracket same as that B************* D Gojo Satoru. No, it's far scarier than what he makes. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket who the hell? Close black lens bracket while the singer was surprised and guarded, Chunda Chomian, who was closer to Bai Ye, felt fear even more. It's an overwhelming fear. A strange sense of incongruity permeates the surroundings. I felt like I was in the magma of hell, and the skin all over my body was screaming in horror. Open black lens bracket hey. What's going on? Close black lens bracket open black lens bracket obviously the knife has been cut in his hand, why is he unscathed? Close black lens bracket. Chomi and Chunda tried to take the knife back from Bai Ye's hand, but no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't shake it at all. Snapped. He kicked Bai Ye, trying to take the knife back with all his strength. However, stand still. The moment he kicked up, he felt that what he kicked was not a human body at all, but a feeling as if he was kicking on the wall. Open black lens bracket I can't kick it. It feels like kicking on a rock. Close black lens bracket. While he was puzzled, the diva who had been standing on the side could see clearly. It's not that he couldn't kick Bai Ye, but Chunda Chomian didn't kick Bai Ye at all. The attack stopped when there was still a gap between Bai Ye. Advertisement it's as if there is a barrier there. Diva is all too familiar with this situation. Open black lens bracket that's it, Gojo Satoru's spell with no lower limit. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket how is it possible? Is there a second person who can use this spell? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket he is definitely not Gojo Satoru, because he doesn't have that annoying frivolity. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket then. Who is he? What is the relationship with Gojo Satoru? Close black lens bracket. Diva's mind was running fast, thinking about all kinds of possibilities. While Zhang Mianshan was too puzzled, Bai Ye flicked the two fingers holding the blade. Clang. The blade broke off abruptly. A huge force was transmitted along the blade to Zhang Mianchunda's arm, and the whole right hand was instantly twisted, bloody and bloody. The stripes below the eyes representing the accumulation of miracles are also consumed at the same time. The severe pain made Zhang Mianshan forget his fear, and the anger of losing his right hand broke out uncontrollably. You be D. Don't get carried away. It's just one or two attacks. In this world, strong strength doesn't guarantee victory. Especially when encountering a technique like mine. Anger made him lose his mind, and his intact left hand turned into a knife and slashed at Bai Ye's neck. Get out, day and night with a single incantation. Chomi and Chunda was knocked out in an instant without even having time. The body fell into the wall fiercely, smashed a human-shaped hole. Not to mention that he couldn't react, even the diva beside him was half a beat behind. An expression of disbelief appeared on his face. Open black lens bracket this is the curse, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket he can use two spells. Close black lens bracket horror rose from the bottom of Diva's heart. And Zhangmi and Chuntai was even more horrified. When he crawled out of the humanoid pit, his whole body was covered in scars, his mouth was bleeding profusely, and his body was trembling uncontrollably. The stripes under the eyes disappeared again. Open black lens bracket dead. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket without my technique, I would be dead. Close black lens bracket escape. As soon as the thought of running away arose in his mind, he felt his mind was grabbed by a force, and then his vision instantly blurred. Boom. The whole head was smashed into the wall. Advertisement. Suddenly it looks like a dead body, and standing in front of it is a fluffy teddy bear. The fist is stained with bright red liquid, skeletons made by Bai Ye. The strength is close to the curse of a first-level magician. Even a quasi-first-level diva would feel troubled by the smell from the body of the curse. What made her even more troublesome was that the other party used 3 kinds of spells at the same time. And these 3 kinds of spells gave her the feeling that they were stronger than the strength shown by using them myself. Strongest. These 2 words came to her mind, friend or foe. Uncertainty swirled in her mind, but Bai Ye didn't do anything to the diva, nor did she say anything. Instead, he casually released a curse spirit to bite off Chongmi and Chunta's legs. He said coldly, "Don't pretend to be dead for me. It hurts, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts." Chongmi and Chunta, who was playing dead, let out a violent scream in an instant. And the 6 stripes under his eyes, now only the last 2 remain. Boom, the teddy bear punched Chongmi and Chunta in the mouth, directly dislocated his jaw, his teeth flew horizontally, and his saliva flowed out along with the blood. It looked like a mess. It's noisy. Nobody likes someone who only speaks cruel words and screams, right? Then, it doesn't matter if you die. Bai Ye's voice was extremely cold, and he directly gave the command to kill the man, to the monoskeleton and the monospirit. 1.5 Feeling the breath of death approaching, Chongmi and Chunta burst into tears instantly, and desperately squeezed out a sentence with his already defeated chin. Yeah. No. Forgiveness. Forgiveness. Forgive me. Ah. Accompanied by the iron fist of the cursed skeleton and the gnawing sound of the cursed spirit, Chongmi and Chunta's last 2 stripes representing miracle disappeared, and his body gradually lost its vitality. Bai Ye's eyes turned to Diva. Obviously there was no hostility, but the diva was shocked into a cold sweat. Open black lens bracket, are you coming? Close black lens bracket. Just when she thought Bai Ye would attack her, the figure in front of her disappeared without a trace in the blink of an eye. Even the cursed skeleton and the cursed spirit disappeared together. After confirming that the other party left, Diva took a long breath in her heart. Open black lens bracket. No 4 spells. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. And the feeling of that cursed spirit seems to have reached the special level. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Even the curse bones are at the first level. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Does this kind of person really exist? If so, who is he? Close black lens bracket. 84 So cute. How can I not die a few more times, seeking full order? Having dealt with Chongmi and Chuntai, Bai Ye glanced at Leonci Jiashan, who was fighting with HDB. His eyes were very indifferent, because he knew that Leon Temple Jiashan was not a good stubble. Is a stubborn old guy. The battle between the two was not evenly matched, and it was difficult to tell the winner for a while. Since it's a rotten old thing, let's contribute a little more Libby. Cheng is still alive, let's shine and glow as much as you want. Taking another look at Leon Temple, who looked quite funny with a guitar, Bai Ye didn't make a move. Instead, focus on the account, looks like it's almost untied. Bai Ye muttered, then turned his gaze to the direction of the shrine and temple, with a sneer on the corner of his mouth. It should be about the same with the real person, right? In that case, let's go and play. After the words were closed, Bai Ye passed through the tent in an instant, and went directly to the enchantment of the shrine and temple. 15. Shrine Temple. In the warehouse where the special grade spells are kept. Jianren took the 6 fingers and the number 1 to number 3 curse objects of the 9 phases of the cursed embryo in his hand with a serious face. Although he had already completed the task along the finger that Xia Youjie had done before, which was recovered by Gao Zhuan, he was not happy at all. While looking around and looking furtive, he prayed in his heart. Don't show up, don't let me meet you, you must not let me meet, otherwise. However, before the words were finished, a sense of disobedience appeared. As far as the eyes could see, a vague but extremely familiar figure came from the light. The pace is very light, but it sounds like rolling thunder. Every cell in the body is beeping for danger, danger. Extremely dangerous, there is no possibility of escape. Different from the nervous real people, Bai Ye is unusually relaxed, with a faint smile on the corner of his mouth. Advertisement, otherwise what would you do? Bai Ye's voice was obviously very soft, but it made the real person break out in a cold sweat. He hesitated and said, no, otherwise I will take a detour. However, before he could take any action, the distance between Bai Ye and him was suddenly shortened. A broad palm gently patted his shoulder, bringing tremendous pressure. Thriller. Yes. Sorry, back to you. I'll give it back to you right now. Please, please don't touch me. Frightened, the real person couldn't wait to shout out these few words. At the same time, he bowed deeply, but Bai Ye stopped him from taking things. Don't be so scared, I came here just to ask you something. When Bai Ye said this, he directly used Wu Wei transformation to turn the real person into a shabby mouse. At the same time, don't forget to cut off the mouse's tail with the 10 strokes spell. After the real person recovered, he was turned into various pigs waiting to be slaughtered by means of inaction transformation, and so on. Severe pain came from the heart, and the real man couldn't help crying. Those fears that were so hard to suppress hit from the depths of my soul at this moment. Those fears of forgetting ruled his soul, played by Bai Ye in the palm of his hand. Regret, despair, unwillingness and other emotions come together. But Bai Ye smiled brightly and was very happy. Don't worry, you are so cute, how can I just let you die like this? I suppose you don't want to die like this? It must not be enough? In Jianren's heart, Bai Ye is more like a curse than him at this time. No, it should be said to be the curse of curses, within the conference area. Advertisement with the cooperation of Hu Zhang and Dong Tang, Hua Yu was beaten to the point where he was almost powerless to fight back. The breath of death enveloped his heart. When you realize that you are at a disadvantage, you have to use all your strength and plan to expand the field. The entrusted account of the subordinates has been cracked by Gojo Satoru. For a moment, everyone noticed that the account had been released. Wuzhou Wuzheng was flying in the sky to observe the situation in the area with a serious face. Especially Hua Yu and HDB Tanning. The moment she saw Gojo Satoru, Hanayu directly gave up the field of expansion and was ready to escape. However, HDB Tanzao was a bit reckless, and he was a little excited when he saw Wuzhou Satoru. Hey, the awesome drying rack is right in front of my eyes. As soon as his words fell, Gojo Satoru in the sky disappeared from his sight and appeared in front of his eyes in an instant. Hangers. Seeing Gojo Satoru appear in front of his eyes, the HDB case rushed towards him like crazy. Swish, 030 however, before he even took 2 steps, a powerful spell attack destroyed his limbs. If it hadn't been for the Lei Temple Jiashan to speak out in a hurry and shout to keep alive, the HDB building would be wiped out in an instant. Although Gojo Satoru kept his hand, it is entirely possible for him to die from the injuries caused by HDB. Gojo Satoru also understood the intention of keeping him alive, and directly left the work of dealing with the aftermath to the disliked Lei Temple Jiashan. There are a lot of things to ask this guy. Hurry up and give him first aid, you can't let him die. Stare. Gojo Satoru's tone of command made Leonci Jiashan suddenly upset. But Gojo Satoru didn't care about his thoughts, instead, directly attack Hua Yu in the distance. Let's mess around a little bit. After saying that, he formed a seal with both hands, and the 2 moves of Kang and He were integrated into one. The imaginary form, C, the energy ball formed by superstandard magic power destroys everything around with a destructive breath, and advances quickly with the goal of Hua Yu. 85 The arrogant Gojo Satoru, conquer the machine pill, subscribe. With Gojo Satoru cracking the account, the stalemate was broken. At the same time that Hanayu was withdrawing, the team battle on the first day of the exchange meeting also came to an end. Due to the sudden attack of the super curse, the 2 sides did not decide the outcome. Even with the help of this sudden attack, a deep bond was formed between the students on both sides. Bai Ye is very happy with this result. After dealing with the sudden attack, Gojo Satoru came to Bai Ye to plead guilty. Seeing Gojo Satoru's serious confession, Bai Ye couldn't help but smile inwardly. Teacher Bai Ye, please punish me, even if you scold me a few words, otherwise I won't be able to forgive myself. Obviously you have reminded me, but something like this still happened. Let's talk about the punishment later. Bai Ye interrupted Gojo Satoru. There will be a chance for you to reflect on yourself in the future, but not now. There are more important things waiting for you next. The more important thing? Gojo Satoru looked puzzled. Bai Ye said. Of course it's an exchange meeting. Gojo Satoru was puzzled and said, if something like this happened, the exchange meeting should be suspended. Bai Ye exhaled, and said helplessly, I've said it before, young people's youth should not be taken away. So Satoru's responsibility is to keep tomorrow's exchange meeting going. However, in consideration of the wounded, let's play baseball for tomorrow's exchange meeting. Yes. Teacher Bai Ye. After listening to Bai Ye's words, Gojo immediately looked up in admiration. Open black lens bracket. Teacher Bai Ye is so gentle. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. I have considered so much for everyone. I really want to introduce Teacher Bai Ye to everyone now. Then I will tell you about Teacher Bai Ye for 3 days and 3 nights. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. In this comparison, I appear to be completely useless. It seems that I still need to continue to practice hard to reach the height of Bai Yedu. Close black lens bracket. So, under Wuzhou Satoru's struggle, the exchange meeting scheduled for the next day's personal battle turned into a baseball game. It was also rare for Bai Ye to watch the active crowd outside the playground. Nishinomiya who doesn't know the rules, Kamo who doesn't swing a bat, Nagasaki who blows up the hair with the mechanical balls that use the pitching machine to pretend to be fake, Maki who turns back confidently, and Todo who is disgusted. Bai Ye is very interesting to watch. It is a good time to enjoy a relaxed and happy time. And what amazed him the most was Gojo Satoru after Jingdong School won the competition. With a very exaggerated, frivolous, and arrogant laugh, he walked past Lei Temple and Yi Moth who were sitting on chairs watching the battle with unrecognizable steps. Hey 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 hey. Lei Temple. Advertisement Noctuid. Gojo Wu's triumphant laughter left both Leonci Jiashin and Yi Mo Jungdao speechless. Noctua, take care of Gojo Satoru first. The meeting is over. The students all took a period of rest and recuperation. Bai Ye in this time period has not been idle all the time. In addition to watching movies with Lizzie, shopping, and expelling curses, he is also training Yoshino Junpei. Not only theoretical knowledge, but also practical experience, Bai Ye asked Fu Hieshi to impart some. And he himself was having secret discussions with Ji Wan. The dark basement. Ji Wan cautiously looked at Bai Ye who was standing opposite him. For this person who can never see the true face clearly, he dare not be careless. What made him restless the most was the dangerous aura on Bai Ye's body. That was a feeling he had never felt in Gojo Satoru. I've already done that for you, why are you looking for me? Wouldn't it be kind to help me heal my body? Regarding the alertness of the mechanical pill, Bai Ye smiled slightly, it's nothing, I just came to see you. By the way, if you are willing to agree to my previous proposal, it is not impossible for me to help you deal with real people. Shocked. How much do you know? Just after Bai Ye finished speaking, the mechanical pill trembled as if struck by lightning, and he couldn't understand Bai Ye more and more. It was as if everything about him was under the control of the other party. You don't need to know this, you just need to remember one sentence, if you still want to see Sanlun Shaw with your own eyes, you'd better accept my proposal. The Gaojan has already become suspicious of you, and it won't be long before your collusion with Xia Youjie will be exposed. After Bai Ye finished speaking, he only patted Ji Wan's shoulder lightly, and then walked away slowly. For the mechanical pill, he has already done everything he can. But if it can't be used by him, it doesn't make any sense to cure him. Seeing Bai Ye drifting away, Ziwan chose to compromise after a battle between heaven and man in his heart. Okay, I promise you, although he didn't know the details of Bai Ye, he had a premonition that if he missed this time, he would lose a huge opportunity. What's more, the agreement with Xia Youjie was nothing more than seeking skin from a tiger, but it was not as reliable as the person in front of him. Hearing these words, Bai Ye stopped in his tracks. You won't regret it. After finishing speaking, Bai Ye directly used the spell, Wu Wei transformation, copied from the real person, and healed Ji Wan's body in an instant. The pain in the body disappeared in an instant, and it was extremely relaxing. Advertisement in the right hand in the body below the knee, which he hadn't had since birth, also appeared in his sight at the same time. Ji Wan's eyes widened in disbelief. Slowly raising his hands to his eyes, he was so excited that tears streamed down his face. Hand. Is this the right hand? Snapped. Ji Wan slapped himself hard in disbelief, feeling hot on his face. Is this what the right hand feels like? What surprised him even more was that there was a strange feeling coming from the body below the waist, which was originally unconscious. This is an experience he has never had before. I am conscious. My health is better, I have legs, I can go to see Sanhua openly. Boom. Struggling to get up, he fell from the medicine bed to the ground. Even though Ji Wan couldn't use his legs proficiently, it didn't affect his joy in the slightest. Not surprise, but ecstasy. Endless ecstasy. The healthy body that you want to have in your dreams is now in front of your eyes. Looking at Bai Ye's eyes again, there is no trace of warning at all, replaced by Hao Nuo, with gratitude and admiration. At this moment, Bai Ye's position in his heart is just like his reborn parents. Tall and mighty. Coupled with a little bit of light coming in from the door of the dark room, it looks like a god. Bang bang bang. Ji Wan knelt on the ground and kowtowed 3 times to Bai Ye violently. From now on, Mekamaru will only obey the adults. I am willing to go to the Mountain of Swords and the Sea of Fire for my lord. Even if I have to give up this body. Before he finished speaking, Bai Ye interrupted him. Although you have gained a healthy body now, don't let anyone know about it yet. I have a special task for you. Only you are the most suitable for this task. Bai Ye's voice was very soft, but the machine could also hear the importance of this matter. He who had completely surrendered to Bai Ye agreed without hesitation. For him, this is the beginning of gratitude. 86 Chaos into the 9-phase diagram of the cursed battle under the bridge, the battle begins. After a period of rest, all the injuries suffered by the students in the exchange meeting have recovered. The first grade Polygonum Cuspidatum also received the task as soon as they recovered. The commission to be dealt with this time is the mission of 3 related students died in the same situation. In order to understand the situation, they came to the school that the 3 had attended together, Saitama City Yurumi East Middle School. And Bai Ye's side. I have already come to the Lijiko Canyon alone, the 88 Bridge. It is a relatively famous supernatural place in Saitama City. At this time, Bai Ye was standing on the bridge where cars were passing by, watching the cursed aura faintly leaking from below, and smiled in his heart. Su Nuo's finger? It seems that it has been absorbed by the curse. This strength is slightly stronger than the special grade in Roppongi. Although it may be a little dangerous, but just consider it a stepping stone for Fuhei. After carefully sensing the intensity of the curse, Bai Ye smiled slightly and made such a decision. By the way, it's time for Sumiji to take a look. After muttering softly, Bai Ye jumped off the bridge and landed safely on the ground. Soon after Fu Heiwei put aside the knotweed and wild rose, he came to the bridge alone. This time the curse involves his sister Sumiji. Maybe the answer to unraveling Sumiji's coma can be found here. So he couldn't wait to come. Even if he knew the degree of danger here, it might not help him alone, but he didn't want to sit still. However, even though he visited every place under the bridge, he still didn't find any clues. Over time, after trying every possibility he could think of, still no results. This made him a little irritable. Hateful, according to all the information, the curse is clearly here. But I can't even find a clue. If Gojo-sensei is here, the curse will definitely be easily discovered. If I have only this level, it is impossible to be that person's opponent. Advertisement. The vague figure of Bai Ye appeared in Fu Heihui's mind, and a feeling of secretly hating herself surged in her heart. However, in an instant, a strong sense of disobedience suddenly enveloped him. At the same time he was startled. A vague figure not far away slowly approached, from far to near, from small to large. Without any breath, without any signs, it just appeared suddenly. The pupils shrank suddenly. Fu Heiwei immediately raised his hand to summon Shikigami to come out and be on guard. But before he could form a seal, the figure had already walked in front of him in the next moment. One step spanned a distance of more than 10 meters. Countless cold sweats suddenly broke out on his forehead. Obviously the other party didn't have the slightest killing intent, but Fu Haizong felt endless coercion. The fierce tiger formed by the confluence of magic power stood in front of his eyes. The body doesn't listen at all. Open black lens bracket hateful. Close black lens bracket open black lens bracket this guy. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket why is he here? Close black lens bracket Fu Hei looked at Bai Ye with a hint of imperceptible hostility in his eyes. Although Bai Ye could see it, he didn't take it to heart. Instead, he felt that this might stimulate Fu Heihui's greater potential. Open black lens bracket could it be? He is the guy who caused this curse. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket no. There is no curse on him, which means he is human. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket what happened? Close black lens bracket while Fu Hei was meditating, Bai Ye said softly. If the curse spirits are in the barrier, the order in which they enter the barrier is very important. For example, the act of entering under the bridge at night, then crossing this unremarkable river to reach the opposite bank has important magical meanings. While talking, Knotweed and Wild Rose, BFFB, who were worried about lying down also rushed here. Before they approached, Bai Ye waved his hand lightly, and lifted the 3 of them to complete all the actions with the magic power-like substance. Following a small voice, the 3 of them appeared in the barrier together. What catches the eye is the enchantment structured like a gopher hole. Advertisement. The curse was in one of the holes visible to the naked eye, and half of its body protruded, making sharp and ear-piercing sounds. Nah. Before the 3 of them could react, bloody smears all over their bodies rushed out from behind. Both parties fell into a brief surprise, and neither expected that other people would appear. But after a brief surprise, the immature Shuidu took the lead in attacking. Polygonum cuspidatum also took the initiative to deal with the blood smear. You concentrate on dealing with that side, and let me deal with this guy. Facing the more aggressive curse in front of him, Fu Hei also temporarily let go of the idea of dealing with Bai Ye, and put all his energy into facing the curse. With the cooperation of Wild Rose, the 2 started smashing hamsters. One is responsible for destroying the hole and reducing the possible places where the curse can appear, and the other directly attacks the curse. However, not long after the cooperation between the 2, a pair of hands suddenly reached out from outside the barrier and grabbed Wild Rose. Instantly drag her out of the barrier. Fu Hei discovered the abnormality immediately. Nagasaki. Shouting and trying to reach out to grab the Wild Rose, but it was still a step too late. Damn. How does that guy keep getting sucked elsewhere? It's not a gopher, and it's not that blue-skinned guy. Could it be that guy did it? Fu Hei couldn't help but put the suspicion on Bai Ye. Just when Fu Hei and Hu Zhang were shocked, Shui Tu looked excited. "Oh, brother? I also need to go?" Shui Tu roared and slipped away from the two of them. Knotweed followed for a few steps, but stopped at the exit of the barrier. "I ran away. Is it okay to leave it alone?" asked the Knotweed. "Catch up!" Fu Hei yelled directly. Nagasaki was caught and sent to the outside world. "The guy you are facing is definitely more dangerous than we expected. It's much easier on my side. I should be fine. Protect Nagasaki first, chase him quickly." The fear that Bai Ye brought to Fu Hei emerged in his heart, and he couldn't help but think of Nagasaki's tragic defeat at the hands of Bai Ye. 87 The field is unfolding, and the fierce battle is in full swing, seeking subscription. Within the enchantment, after Fu Hei's careful observation, he found that the action of the gopher curse was related to a single one, and he quickly found a way to exorcise the gopher curse. At the next moment when the curse of the gopher appeared, Jade Dog seized the opportunity and bit off the neck of the curse. Seeing the curse disappearing slowly, Fu Hei finally breathed a sigh of relief. In this way, Sumiki can rest assured, and then, just when Fu Hei was about to go out to help Notobazu and Nagasaki, he suddenly found that the barrier hadn't disappeared. At the same time, there was a chill in the back, a cold sweat broke out on his forehead. Alive? Could it be that the one who died just now wasn't the main body? The barrier didn't disappear. What's going on? Just when Fu Hei was puzzled, a fleshy ball like a small hill suddenly appeared from the barrier above his head. There is also some viscous liquid faintly visible on the top of the meatball, just like amniotic fluid. Next moment, the top of the meatball split suddenly, and a curse appeared like a thing. Seeing the appearance of the curse, Fu Hei was stunned for a moment. It's exactly the same curse as the one I met at Yingji Boys Academy. There is no doubt that this is a super curse, and it is several grades stronger than the special curse of Yingji Juvenile Academy. There is also a big gap between special grade and special grade. However, it is different from last time. Although this super curse is powerful, Fu Hei has also grown a lot during this time. Although he is not sure whether he can get rid of this curse, but at least this time, he is no longer unable to move. Not to mention running away in embarrassment, revealing your defenseless back to the enemy. The curse didn't give Fu Hei time to prepare, and immediately launched an attack on the hated black. However, although Fu Hei was careful enough, he still underestimated the opponent's strength. In just 2 rounds of confrontation, he was severely injured. The body flew out fiercely and hit the stone wall. Advertisement hot blood ran down his forehead. Open black lens bracket. The gap is too big. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket cannot be removed. Close black lens bracket. When Fu Hei thought this way, Curse didn't launch an attack immediately, but twisted and shook his body aside as if enjoying his own victory. And Bai Ye's voice also rang in Fu Hei's ear. "Fu Heiwei, this is not the only strength you have, right?" The sudden appearance of the voice made Fu Hei startled. But soon he calmed down again, and a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. "It seems that he has been here all the time. If that is the case, Knotweed and the others will be safe." Close black lens bracket. "You don't know how to be serious, do you?" Bai Ye's voice came again. It was this sentence that instantly aroused Fu Hei's inner unhappiness. Being told by a guy who didn't know the details and was probably an enemy that he was perfunctory. How could it be accepted? Before he was about to get angry, Bai Ye's voice sounded. It was when the Knotweed was parasitized by Sunuo, when it was at the Yingji Juvenile Academy, and when there was a baseball game. Although the linkage with other magicians is also very important, the magician is an individual competition from beginning to end. No matter how many partners you have around you, when you die, you are the only one. Bai Ye's voice is soft and cold. The anger in Fu Hei's heart disappeared instantly, and a vague understanding appeared, but it couldn't be grasped anyway. Bai Ye continued. "You underestimate yourself and others, and you only use these as a basis for judgment, and you don't even imagine yourself becoming stronger in the future. Maybe it's because of your trump card. You always think in your heart that it's the worst. You can solve all problems by sacrificing yourself. In that case, you will only have this level." Bai Ye's tone was understated, but it caused a huge wave in Fu Hei's heart. Stare. Fu Hei's eyes widened, looking at the open space in front of him in disbelief. Open black lens bracket. How would he know that I still have a trump card? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Who is he? How much do you know? Close black lens bracket. Just as he was about to question him, another ethereal voice came. Winning by death is completely different from winning by dying. Advertisement, get serious and get greedier. The voice gradually faded away, and Fu Hei seemed to be enlightened. A spark flashed in his mind. Enlightenment gradually becomes clearer. The eyes became extremely serious. While slowly getting up, he thought brokenly. Release all the shadows in the depths, leaving aside the specific outlines, and release them quickly after condensing the mantra. Then let me show you. Imagine freely. The future self who breaks through the limit. Zero. While muttering, Fu Hei formed seals with his hands, and his breath changed instantly. Even the super curse felt the danger, and opened the distance vigilantly. Bai Ye's words gave Fu Hei a qualitative leap. We have officially stepped into the apex of spell warfare. The field is unfolding. The field expands. Chimera Dark Shadow Court. With a loud shout, gathering all the magic power, a field that is not yet complete and mature begins to unfold from under his feet. Ha ha ha. Even though his nose was bleeding, Fu Hei laughed excitedly. At this time, the super curse was terrified and felt creepy. Anger. The enraged curse struck out, and Fu Hei also shot first, and his whole body was completely ablaze. The mantra is boiling, the blood is surging, the fierce battle is in full swing. Outside the enchantment, Bai Ye couldn't help smiling as he watched Fu Hei successfully awaken the domain. Finally got some motivation. With a soft mutter, Bai Ye turned his gaze to another battlefield. The next step is the diagram of the 9 phases of the cursed fetus. 88. Subduing the 2 brothers of the 9-phase diagram. As Fu Hei acquired the field, his battle with the super curse soon came to an end. Jade Dog's claws pierced Curse's chest, and the fingers hidden there were taken away. Without the strength of the fingers, the curse slowly disappeared. With his own strength, Fu Hei expelled a special curse. However, he also exhausted all his strength, and his consciousness gradually became blurred. Soon fell to the ground and fell asleep. When the super curse was removed, the barrier also disappeared. Without the shielding effect of the enchantment, the breath of Su Nuo's fingers spread instantly. Nagasaki and Kaishiang who were fighting were startled when they sensed the breath. Especially bad looks. Even he dared not ignore this breath. What's more, the direction of the breath came from his brother's blood-smeared, 390, over there. Shui Tu's strength is not as strong as his. As an elder brother, he must ensure the safety of his younger brother. And he always had a vague sense of foreboding. You can't be careless. Excuse me, lady. After saying something politely, Kuaisho faced Kazaki head-on and jumped away. But how could Nozaki let him go like this? Stop. He tried his best to catch up and quickly narrowed the distance. You run around with such a contemptuous posture, don't you think you can get rid of me like this? Although Nagasaki's distance has been shortened, Kuaishiang is not panicked at all. Instead, he said slowly in a confident tone, I feel inferior to my back, so I warn you, if you see my back, I will kill you. Violation. He had just finished speaking when 2 voices came from behind him. Ah, brother, Bloodpaint, who was chasing after his breath, stopped right behind Bad Phase, and said in surprise. Ah, Nagasaki. Natsaki, who was following the Bloodpaint, was also surprised when he saw Nagasaki. It was these 2 inconspicuous voices that made Bad Shang feel terrified. Advertisement. A stream of sweat suddenly appeared on his forehead, he turned his head mechanically, and the terrifying grimace dripping with blood on his back also let out an ear-piercing roar. You saw it, right? The sudden scream made Shuetu and Polygonum Cuspidatum a little at a loss. As if they had done something wrong, they quickly apologized. Huh? Who is this? I'm sorry, brother, I didn't mean it. For the apology made by the knotweed stick and the blood smear, Bad Shang didn't accept it, and became even more angry like a rebellious scale. Kill you. The veins on his forehead popped up, he turned around and was about to attack the 2 of them. But at the moment when he turned around, Kazaki seized the opportunity to knock the Bad Phase away with one blow. After a successful blow, Nagasaki started his poisonous tongue again. Since you are afraid of being seen, why do you dress like this? The Bad Phase who was knocked into the air stabilized his figure, and said viciously, because it will be very painful. Erosion and corrosion technique. Extreme fan, winged king. With a loud shout from Bad Phase, a large amount of blood gushed out from the eyes of the grimace on the back, and finally formed a pair of cicada wings made of blood. Feathering killing intent rushed towards his face. The overflowing curse could not be stopped, and the smell of corruption permeated the entire valley in an instant. Sting you to death. With a loud shout, the blood on the back of the face suddenly shot out blood drops like bullets. Thick blood poured out of the sky and covered the sky. It will corrode a big hole soon after falling on the ground. Notabagi and Nagasaki didn't even think about it, they immediately turned and ran away. I want to distance myself from the Bad Phase and get out of the attack range. However, the speed of the blood drop is much faster than theirs. Seeing that he was about to catch up with them, Polygonum yelled loudly, Nagasaki, can you speed up? Cannot. Just between the question and the answer, a drop of blood approached Nagasaki's head extremely quickly, and it was only a second away from breaking her head. At this critical moment, Katsuobu didn't say a word, he directly hugged Nozaki, and instantly disappeared from the bad-looking sight by virtue of his extraordinary athletic talent. Brother, I'm going to chase them. Shui too said and was about to catch up. However, creepy. Advertisement suddenly a strong coercion enveloped the two brothers. Indistinct figures emerged from the shadows of the trees on the side. There was no sound at all, and no flaws were revealed before it appeared. It seemed that there was no threat at all, but reason told them that this person was extremely dangerous. Every drop of blood was trembling, and goosebumps appeared on the skin uncontrollably. "Brother, run away!" Bad Shang shouted loudly with all his might. However, without waiting for them to escape, an order imprisoned the two of them in place. "Don't move," Bai Ye ordered coldly with a spell. With Bai Ye's incantation power, even without this incantation, it would be enough to completely immobilize the two brothers. After stopping the actions of the two, Bai Ye came to the bloody face like flying in the air. Then he looked at the bad face and said coldly, "I'll give you two choices. Either become my subordinate, or I will let you kill your own brother with your own hands." Shocked. The bad face was shocked. As soon as Bai Ye's voice fell, his body moved involuntarily. Slowly walked towards the blood smear, Oni sauce. Shuitu, who couldn't move, had a low IQ, and saw that his brother actually listened to others and wanted to shoot him, so he couldn't help crying. "Oni-chan. Help me." Seeing getting closer and closer, coupled with the blood-smeared begging for 0.9, the bad-looking heart instantly succumbed. "I surrender to you, as long as you let my brother go. I am willing to surrender to you. As long as it is what you wish, I will do whatever I want." While Bad Shang shouted, the movement stopped, and the bondage between him and Bai Ye was also completed. Also at the same time. At this time, Zhang Shang, who was playing chess with Xia Youjie and the real person, paused. "There was a panic in my heart, followed by unspeakable pain, and my eyes were full of killing intent." Xia Youjie discovered the abnormality of the swelling phase. "What's wrong?" "The swelling phase. The connection between me and my younger brothers is broken." Baoshang's voice was not loud but full of chilling air. "They may. Are dead." 89 Knotweed swallows another finger, watching movies with Bai Ye. After escaping from Bad Phase's attack range, Katsuobu and Nagasaki quickly returned to 88 Bridges. Seeing Fu Hei lying on the ground, both of them couldn't believe it. V Black, X2. After involuntarily swallowing a mouthful of saliva, the two shouted nervously at the same time. For a moment, they thought that Fu Hei was dead. There were even tears in the corners of his eyes. However, their cries woke up Fu Hei, who was asleep. "Oh, you're back?" Fu Hei looked up listlessly, and heaved a sigh of relief seeing the two people who were safe and sound. "It's great that they're all fine." Sweat. Seeing that Fu Hei was still alive, the two of them, Kijong and Nagasaki, were relieved to have cold sweat on their foreheads. "Scary to death. Thought you were dead." The loud volume of the two of them caused Fu Hei, who was seriously injured, to have a headache. He couldn't help complaining. "Please lower your voice, your head hurts." However, both of them chose to ignore Fu Hei's complaints. Nagasaki said in a slightly worried tone, "Don't sleep with 15 Nuo's fingers. It's so dangerous." "That is to say, you are too vigilant," Hu Zhang also echoed. Fu Hei was speechless. Just as he was about to speak, he suddenly remembered Bai Ye, and asked nervously, "That's right, did you guys see a strange guy?" It was rare for Fu Hei to be serious once, but there was a layer of questioning on the heads of the two of them. "Strange guy?" Nagasaki tilted his head. "I met two strange guys, neither human nor curse," Knotweed also said with his chin in his hand. "That's it." After hearing the description of the two, Fu Hei finally felt relieved. "Open black lens bracket, that guy should have already left. Close black lens bracket, also, if he wants to attack us, just now is the best opportunity. Open black lens bracket but still can't treat him as a companion. Close black lens bracket, open black lens bracket, that person is so strange, every time there is a major curse, he will show up. Close black lens bracket." Advertisement, it is not yet possible to confirm his position, so we must first regard him as a threat. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. In this way, if you want to defeat him, I'm afraid you can only rely on the idol that Gojo Sensei mentioned. Close black lens bracket. Fu Hei made up his mind in his heart that he must find the idol Gojo Satoru mentioned, and then ask him to help him in times of crisis. "Okay, let's go back quickly," Fu Hei suggested. "Yes, Miss Qingtian should make an emergency seal as soon as possible. Otherwise the cursed spirit will be attracted by the fingers." Nozaki also echoed. "And when it comes to fingers, Knotweed comes alive. Why don't you just give it to me?" The words of the Knotweed made both Fu Hei and Nozaki feel disgusted. Nozaki disliked preaching. "I say you, this is not leftovers." Fu Hei also sighed. "I don't know how much your body can store your fingers, don't eat them. But for the time being, I will leave it to you, who is the most energetic, to keep it, but I repeat, no eating is allowed." At the same time as Fu Hei warned, he handed his finger to the Knotweed stick. And the knotweed also responded with a full mouth. Yes, yes, I know. As he spoke, he stretched out his hand to take the finger, but just as he was about to take the finger, a mouth suddenly opened in the palm of his hand. Hold your fingers in one bite. With a grunt, Sunuo swallowed his fingers. For a while, the air is suddenly quiet. A stream of cold sweat broke out on the faces of the three of them. I told you not to eat it, huh? Is it my fault? Fuhei and Nagasaki reprimanded the knotweed. Knotweed was also very helpless. No one would have thought that Sunuo would swallow his fingers. When the three were arguing about it, 88 bridge. Bai Ye stood by the bridge and looked at the three of them, and couldn't help murmuring. Have you added another finger? Although I really want to see you continue like this, 11 will not make great progress. Advertisement, it seems that I still want to be this villain. 2 days later, the three of them went on vacation after completing their tasks. Fuhei chose to return to the high school. He wants to investigate Gojo Satoru's idol, as well as the blurred figure that appeared that day. Nagasaki ran to the commercial street to try out Givenchy's new products and strolled around the city by the way. Knotweed went to the cinema alone to watch a movie. In a huge movie theater. Because this time it was a re-screening of an old movie, there were not many people watching the movie, only a few scattered people. Looking at all the people present, Hu Zhang suddenly spotted a somewhat familiar figure. That is. Without thinking too much, Knotweed held the popcorn and walked towards 017 who was sitting alone in the middle of Bai Ye. I'm sorry. Knotweed greeted with some embarrassment. Bai Ye glanced at the knotweed stick, realized his embarrassment, and immediately rescued him. Sit down first. The movie is about to start. Bai Ye showed a warm smile. Oh. With Bai Ye's permission, Knotweed immediately sat down beside Bai Ye. Taking a peek at Bai Ye's side profile, Knotweed seemed familiar, as if he had met him somewhere before. But he still couldn't remember where it was. Just when he racked his brains and couldn't come up with a result, he planned to talk directly. There is a sound in the theater and the movie is about to start. Open black lens bracket, isn't it? Close black lens bracket. Will you be disgusted if you talk to me at this time? This is too impolite. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Well, just ask after the movie is over. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Those who will like this old movie must be like-minded people, and they must be very chatty. Close black lens bracket. 90. Is that the case? Yes, that's what happened. The time of a movie passed quickly. After the movie. Although the story is old-fashioned, the characters are portrayed with great depth, and the actors worked hard. No matter how many times I watch it, I still won't get tired of it. Bai Ye casually commented, then got up and was about to leave. And his comment made Hu Zhang deeply agree with him, and quickly answered. Well, excuse me for a moment, it can be seen that you also like to watch this kind of old movies? Who are you? Bai Ye stopped, looked back at the apologetic knotweed, and asked pretending to be puzzled. Oh, I'm really sorry, my name is Notabagi Yurin, I come from the Conjuration High School, and I'm a conjurer. Perhaps because of being too nervous, Knotweed blurted out, completely forgetting that the Conjuration Academy's publicized image is a religious school. Seeing Bai Ye frown slightly, Notoma Cuspadatum realized this, and quickly explained. That, how should I put it, in fact, we. Before he finished speaking, Bai Ye raised his hand to stop. It's okay. Although I don't quite understand what a conjurer is, you don't need to explain it to me. After all, if I talk about my work, many people will not understand it. Huh? Polygonum Cuspadatum looked puzzled, and then boldly asked, is your job also? That's right. Bai Ye smiled slightly and continued, I'm a fortune teller. How about it? Do you want to try it? Hearing that Bai Ye is a prophet, a string of little stars of worship appeared in the eyes of the knotweed. Whoosh, please let me try it, then let's change places. Bai Ye said, and took Mai out. Knotweed also quickly picked up his popcorn and followed Bai Ye, looking very excited. High School of Spells. Gojo Satoru had just finished talking with Ainge Ji. I don't know if the diva is being followed. I hope the spies don't appear among the students. After talking to himself, Gojo Satoru couldn't help recalling his student days. Advertisement. It was a happy time to go out on missions with close friends and companions. Especially when he reported the results to Bai Ye after finishing the task every day, it was his happiest time. Ah! Gojo Satoru couldn't help sighing when he thought that he could accept Bai Ye's guidance every day. So nostalgic. Now I can also accept the teachings of Teacher Bai Ye every day. After the spies are found, report to Teacher Bai Ye. Maybe I can get the teacher's praise after a long absence. Just thinking about it makes me very excited. Whether he was praised by Bai Ye or accepted the Iron Fist guidance of Bai Ye, Gojo Satoru misses it very much. At the same time, Briar here, while shopping, she suddenly realized that someone had been following her. Just when she was about to find out this person, The other person took the initiative to run up to her and asked with a nervous and cowardly expression. Excuse me, were you with Knotweed before? Seeing the timid beauty in front of her, and the other party's question, Yi Changwei was stunned for 2 seconds. Then an impossible idea suddenly appeared in my mind. I couldn't help but take a half step back, and said in surprise, Huh. Well, although I know it's difficult, can you please come in and have a sit with me? Ozawa Yuko said apologetically, pointing to the meal next to her. Although Nozaki was somewhat reluctant, but seeing the other party's sincerity, he still couldn't bear to refuse. And the other party was an acquaintance of Polygonum Cuspidatum, so I was too embarrassed to just refuse like this. So the two came to the restaurant like this. After ordering something, the two sat opposite each other. Yuko Ozawa also took out her mobile phone from her pocket, and then took out a photo and handed it to Kazaki. This is me at my high school graduation. Looking at the people in the photo, Nozaki couldn't believe his eyes. Hey, is it true? Wasn't it half a year ago? In the photo is a chubby little girl who has no connection with Yuko Ozawa in front of her at all. Advertisement after repeated comparisons and confirmations, she still couldn't believe it. What happened? Seeing Nagasaki's big reaction, Ozawa Yuko rubbed her head in embarrassment and explained. Oh, after that, I grew 15 centimeters taller, plus the pressure brought by the environmental changes after coming to Tokyo, seeing I lost weight. Wow. Nagasaki couldn't help but exclaim. Then she noticed that another person in the photo was the Knotweed in middle school. It doesn't look much different from now, it's still clumsy, just a little immature. Isn't this Knotweed? For Kazaki's surprise, Ozawa Yuko immediately became nervous, and then explained with a hint of apology, cowardice, and lack of confidence. I mustered up the courage to ask him to take a photo with me on the day of the graduation ceremony. Actually, I wanted to ask for the contact information, but I had already decided to move out of Tokyo. But when I saw Hu Zhang just now, I thought that if it were me now, maybe. Now that Yuko Ozawa said this, the previous speculation in Nagasaki's mind has been confirmed. Masaka. Yuko, you. That is, the one who wins the king, said, is that the case? Yes. That's what happened. Both of them looked very surprised. After confirming from Yuko's mouth, Kagezaki felt a little uncomfortable in his heart. I feel a sudden lumpy feeling in my heart, and she clearly knew that this was not jealousy. She has no feeling for Knotweed. The only thing that can move her heart is that chance encounter. That elegant Prince Charming, unfortunately, she has not been seen since then. Open black lens bracket shout. That guy from Knotweed, how could he be compared to my Prince Charming, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket so it's not something wrong, it must be something wrong with my heart, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket I will never like that guy. Close black lens bracket 91 no regrets, the real person is itchy again. After confirming Ozawa Yuko's mood, Kazaki felt a lump in her heart, which made her very uncomfortable. After thinking for a few seconds, she stopped tapping on the table, took out her mobile phone and called Yidiji. And let Yidiji return with Fuhei, who has not yet arrived at the high school. The reason why she chose to call Yidiji instead of Fuhei was because she knew that even if she called Fuhei, Fuhei would never come back. After hanging up the phone, Nagasaki explained, someone who is more familiar with Knotweed than I am will come right away. That. Yuko Ozawa was a little worried, always felt that she seemed to have caused trouble to Kazaki, and was very sorry. But Nagasaki had no such thoughts at all. Although her displeasure could be clearly seen on her face, it was because she didn't understand the reason for the lump in her heart. However, Yuko Ozawa didn't know what Kazaki was thinking. From the information read on Kazaki's face, she thought she also liked Knotweed. But I said this in front of possibly the girlfriend of Polygonum Cuspidatum. Immediately felt ashamed. Well, if Kagazaki-san also likes Knotweed. Murray. Absolutely mooly. Before Yuko Ozawa finished speaking, Kazaki denied it with a very strong and cold voice. Not a second of hesitation. I feel even more resistant to Yuko Ozawa's thinking in my heart. Open black lens bracket I will like that guy. How is it possible? Close black lens bracket open black lens bracket looks stupid. If you are with him, the offspring will also become stupid, right? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket I do not want it. Close black lens bracket open black lens bracket and I already have someone in my heart, and the Knotweed is simply incomparable. Close black lens bracket. Not long after, Fuhei arrived with a displeased face. Seeing Nozaki who was sitting leisurely on the seat, making him toss back and forth, he said angrily, "Hey, what are you doing?" However, Kazaki completely ignored Fuguro's anger, and went straight to the point, "Fukui, does Knotweed have a girlfriend?" Huh? Faced with Fuhei's confusion, Nozaki briefly introduced the situation of Ozawa Yuko to him. After listening to the introduction, a flash of lightning flashed through Fuhei's mind, and he realized it. That is to say, is that the case? Yes, that's what happened. The two tacitly agreed. The situation here successfully aroused Fuhei's curiosity, and he also wanted to know what Knotweed would do in the face of such a situation. What's more, the word love can never be avoided at their age, and it is also the most popular topic. Then Fuhei also sat down, ordered a cup of black coffee for himself, and said slowly, "First of all, I definitely don't have a girlfriend." "Huh? Is there any basis?" BFDJ, Kizaki asked. "Advertisement?" Yuko Ozawa also looked expectant. After glancing at the expectant look of the two, Fuhei sighed softly, and then expressed his analysis. When he was suddenly asked to come to Tokyo, he didn't show any embarrassment, and the room was covered with photo idol posters. Guys with girlfriends won't post that, right? They'll be hated by them. Fuhei analyzed calmly, taking a sip of coffee from time to time. But when he was drinking coffee, Nozaki, who was sitting next to him, felt a little embarrassed watching Fuhei drinking black coffee. And it's not enough for her to be embarrassed by herself, she has to speak out to make Fuhei embarrassed along with her. "So, Fuhei, you are the type who would drink black coffee in front of girls and pretend to be cool. How about another cup?" A sign of dissatisfaction was clearly visible on Fuhei's face, and the corners of his eyes were slightly raised in dissatisfaction. "You asked me for something, didn't you? And I drink this all the time?" At the delicate moment when the atmosphere between the two was very awkward, Yuko Ozawa interjected at the right time. "Well, by the way, did he mention the type he likes?" After asking, Yuko Ozawa felt uneasy, and even Kazaki became nervous. The two stared at Fuhei closely, waiting for his reply. Fuhei thought for a while with a troubled face, and then said incoherently, "Oh, it is said that he likes tall girls." Swish. A flash of lightning flashed through the minds of Kazaki and Ozawa Yuko. The two picked up the cups and clinked each other very tacitly. Immediately excited. Full of energy. Then Nagasaki took out his phone and opened the address book to find the Knotweed, and said with a confident look, "There's a chance of winning. I'm going to summon Knotweed. No problem, Yuko." "Yes." Yuko also seemed to be beaten with chicken blood, very excited. Knotweed here. He was digesting the prophecy that Bai Ye gave him, and he still couldn't believe what Bai Ye said. How could there be such a prophecy? Teacher Wu Tiao is so strong, how could something unexpected happen? And Wujo Sensei said that his idol is someone who is even stronger than him. If this person really existed, it would be impossible for the magic world to be in chaos, let alone the end time he described. Although the Knotweed was unwilling to believe Bai Ye's prophecy, overall, it was a very pleasant conversation. And just as he was talking to himself, the phone rang suddenly. It was the message from Nozaki. What the hell is that guy doing? Why did he suddenly ask me to look for her, and he didn't say the reason? Well, forget it, it's okay anyway, let's go and have a look. Shortly after, advertisement Notatsu found the location of the restaurant according to the location sent by Nagasaki. The moment the Knotweed entered the dining room, he froze for a moment. Unbelievable looking at the girl sitting across from Nagasaki. Open black lens bracket, that is, close black lens bracket, open black lens bracket, Yuko Ozawa. Close black lens bracket. How could this happen? It's really like what that person said, I will meet classmates from middle school, and even the name. Open black lens bracket, is what that person said true? Close black lens bracket. Is it true that Wujo teacher will have an accident? The prophecy that Bai Ye said earlier flashed across the mind of the Knotweed, and a wave of fear struck from behind. But soon he threw this idea out of his mind. Open black lens bracket, it's just a coincidence, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, how could a chaotic generation of spells happen? Close black lens bracket. Although he didn't dare to confirm it himself, he was still willing to think on the bright side. And when Katsuobu was surprised, Kazaki felt stunned for a second, and suddenly remembered that he forgot to tell Yuzu about Yuko. Open black lens bracket, oops. Close black lens bracket, open black lens bracket, Yuko has changed so much, she will never recognize her. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, and isn't that line number one the one you don't want to hear when reuniting with your crush after a long absence? Close black lens bracket. Realizing that the situation is not good, Nozaki intends to make amends on the spot. Knotweed. She's, Ozawa, you're really here too. Before Nagasaki finished speaking, he opened his mouth. Instantly, Ozawa Yuko's eyes were moist, the tip of her nose was sour, and she was deeply moved. Unexpectedly, the Knotweed could still recognize itself. And Fuhei and Nozaki, who were sitting on the side, also knelt down to the Knotweed in an instant. Just the perfect start, not far from the restaurant. A guest who just came in sipped the coffee in his hand with a smile on his lips. That's the way to leave no regrets. Bai Ye put down the coffee in his hand, looked at the sky outside the window, and said calmly, "Is the real person's skin itchy again? It's time to tighten him up." After speaking, Bai Ye walked out of the restaurant. And the moment he left the restaurant, Nagasaki caught a glimpse of Bai Ye's back from the corner of his eye. For a moment, his mind went blank, and in this blank space, a slightly vague figure emerged from memory. Open black lens bracket, that is. Prince Charming. Close black lens bracket. There was no time for any explanation, and he rushed out as soon as he pushed Fu Hei away. 92. The traitor's identity is exposed, an insurmountable gap, for subscription. The spell calendar is October 19, 2018, in an underground 3-story parking lot. At the passage connecting the parking lot with the Civil Air Defense Project. Bai Ye walked forward slowly. It didn't take long to come to the place where Jiwan was hiding. The moment he saw Bai Ye, the mechanic pill, whose body had healed and could be used freely, wanted to salute and say hello, but was stopped by Bai Ye raising his hand. Mechanical pill, you have been exposed here, go to another place first. How could it have been exposed? Jiwan couldn't believe it. After all, his puppet manipulation can manipulate puppets to cover the entire country. It can be said that as long as he wants, he can easily get information from anywhere. Even so, he didn't realize that he had been exposed. However, he firmly believed in Bai Ye's words, immediately bowed his head and replied, yes, the subordinates know. Bai Ye nodded, very satisfied with Jiwan's decisiveness. After the transfer, it's time for Xia Youjie and the others to fulfill their promise. Bai Ye smiled slightly and then said, when the time comes, you should move around a little bit. I'll go there too, but before you fall into a disadvantage, I won't take it lightly. Also, you have to remember that real people are not cursed spirits that can be exorcised so easily, so don't take chances. Bai Ye's warning made Jiwan instantly ashamed. It also became clearer that Bai Ye had completely seen through his little thoughts. When Xia Youjie's matter is over, you have to transfer to the last resort. So during this period, you still have a little time to make arrangements for yourself. If you want to, go and meet the people you want to meet. After Bai Ye finished speaking, he left here quickly. After Bai Ye completely disappeared from the field of vision, Jiwan followed Bai Ye's instructions to shift positions. And shortly after his transfer, Gojo Satoru summoned the three of them together with a proud look on his face. Seeing Gojo Satoru's smiling face, Fu Hei said coldly, what's so funny? It's nothing, I just thought of something happy. Gojo Satoru still had a smile on his face. But the knotweed was not happy at all, because he remembered what Bai Ye said. Gojo Satoru will be sealed in the near future, and this world will enter a chaotic generation of spells because of his being sealed. At that time, countless ordinary people will be directly or indirectly affected and lose their lives. But Gojo Satoru obviously didn't notice the abnormality of the knotweed, completely immersed in his own joy. He finally found out one of the traitors hiding in the high school. I am dreaming of the moment when I will claim credit from Bai Ye after catching the traitor. Advertisement. Since he was too eye-catching to act in person, he planned to ask Ngeji to take them to find out the traitor, and at the same time, it could be regarded as training the three of them. After knotweed and the others set off, Gojo Satoru came to meet Bai Ye alone. Bai Ye sensed the joy Gojo Satoru was desperately trying to hold back. Enlightenment, is there anything to be happy about? I see that you seem to be very happy. No, teacher Bai Ye, nothing. Gojo Satoru, who wanted to save the surprise until the end, quickly denied it. It's just because I haven't seen teacher Bai Ye for too long. Is that so? That's it. Bai Ye didn't intend to pursue it, just smiled lightly. He was well aware of Gojo Satoru's actions. Wu, how do you think the three of knotweed and the others have grown? Bai Ye changed the subject. For this question, Wu Tiaoyu pondered calmly for a few seconds. Then he replied, I have to say that Mr. Bai Ye has a good eye for people. In just half a year, the current strength of Polygonum Cuspidatum has reached the level of a first-level sorcerer, Fu Hei has also awakened his domain, and Nozaki has also improved in quality. Generally speaking, they all have the ability to become a super magician. After answering, he looked at Bai Ye quietly, as if he was waiting for the comment, a little nervous. Bai Ye nodded lightly, and Wu worked hard to guide them. No, I guided them completely according to teacher Bai Ye's teachings, all of which are due to teacher Bai Ye, and I can't say that I have any credit at all. Gojo Satoru waved his hands quickly, looking flattered. Don't underestimate yourself. Wu, I have seen all your hard work and sacrifices. This is unquestionable. Bai Ye's voice suddenly became serious, which made Gojo Satoru a little nervous. But when he heard the end, he was so excited that he almost jumped up for joy. Open black lens bracket great. Got the affirmation from teacher Bai Ye, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket calm down. Don't be too frivolous in front of teacher Bai Ye, close black lens bracket. Holding back the joy in his heart, Gojo Satoru suddenly remembered Fu Hei's proposal to him today. Teacher Bai Ye, You said before that you would train the knotweed and the others to become companions, and now they have the strength of a first-level teacher. I don't know when you will be willing to see them? They all want to see you. Gojo Satoru looked at Bai Ye expectantly. It must be said that he had been looking forward to the moment when he would introduce teacher Bai Ye to knotweed and the others. For this day, he has been making preparations, often promoting Bai Ye's strength to the three of them. Not only that, but he also rehearses in his mind every day what kind of lines he should say and what words he should use to describe the day Bai Ye came out. Trying hard to think about how to introduce the idol you admire to everyone with the most perfect opening statement. But his proposal was ruthlessly rejected by Bai Ye. Bai Ye sighed lightly, shook his head and said, now is not the time. Advertisement, ask for flowers. Enlightenment should have also noticed that there is a bigger secret hidden in the high school room. Until these secret investigations are clear, I cannot reveal my identity. Gojo Satoru's high emotions were instantly extinguished. But soon he cheered up again. The teacher is right, I was too impatient. But teacher, what should we do to expose the hidden secret of the high school as soon as possible? Even as one of the three imperial families, the head of the Gojo family, still has a secret that Gojo Satoru cannot touch. Bai Ye already had the answer to Wu Jiaowu's question, so he was familiar with the answer. If you want to expose the secrets of the upper echelons of the high school. Bai Ye paused on purpose at this point, glanced at him pointedly, and then said, it's very simple, as long as you die or can't shoot for some reason. Is it only if I'm dead or can't make a shot? Oh, that's right, because enlightenment is too strong. To them, you are an unstable bomb that may blow up at any time. But they didn't get rid of you because the college is not sure they can get rid of you now. Even if they can barely get rid of you or restrict your freedom, the price they need to pay is not something they can bear. It's better to let your existence go for a while, and it's safer to secretly raise some small tricks. So it is. After listening to Bai Ye's explanation, Wu Jiaowu suddenly realized, and instantly understood the stakes. He also understood Bai Ye's intention of not showing his face. He even felt that there was an insurmountable gap between himself and Bai Ye. Open black lens bracket teacher Bai Ye always stands taller than me and sees farther than me, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket I really failed. Close black lens bracket open black lens bracket to be complacent because I found out a traitor. Maybe the teacher has already seen all this in my eyes, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket it must be so. The teacher just meant that there are people in the upper echelon of the college colluding with the cursed spirit. And I just found out a mole who was among the students, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket so, the teacher just didn't want to hit me and didn't say it on purpose, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket although the teacher told me not to underestimate myself, compared with the teacher, I have nothing to be proud of, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket too far away, close black lens bracket open black lens bracket study, close black lens bracket open black lens bracket that's right. Only by working harder to learn from the teacher can I look at problems from a higher perspective like the teacher, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket is expected of teacher Bai Ye, close black lens bracket, it is an existence that requires me to spend my whole life studying. After a short period of sadness, Gojo Satoru returned to a state of full energy. The eyes looking at Bai Ye are full of longing, and at the same time. In the underground parking lot, Engeji brought the newly joined knotweed trio to capture the machine pill. 93 Meet and Don't Know, Deathmatch begins, subscribe. At the same time that Knotweed and the others were planning to break into the door and arrest Jijiwan. Kyoto School. The mechanical pill that had already been transferred appeared in the school as the main body. At this time, he was standing on the roof of the dormitory, overlooking everything below. And within his line of sight, you can clearly see Miwa Kasumi walking towards the meeting room with her lecture notes in her arms. Tick-tock seeing Sanlunxia with her own eyes. Jijiwan's eye sockets gradually became moist. What he had dreamed of had finally come true at this moment. He finally got to meet his companions in person, and all of this was given to him by Bai Ye. Although he wants to protect all his classmates, the one he wants to protect the most is the Sanlu in front of him who is always talking frustrating words. 587. 3 rounds. Everyone, let me protect you in the dark. After saying something to himself, Jijiwan walked down the stairs slowly with resolute steps. At the door of the teaching building, I passed by Milan Kasumi walking briskly. The two passed each other. Jiwan didn't pause at all, let alone hesitate, his steps were firm and steady. Walk forward step by step. A moment missed. Sanlunxia suddenly felt a pain in her heart, and an inexplicable feeling flowed through her. Can't help but stop and look back. That person has been looking at me just now? Strange, I should have never seen him before. Why do you think he is so familiar? It must be an illusion. How can a good-for-nothing like me be liked by others? Tilting her head to think for a while, Sanlun Sha didn't get the result, and after saying a frustrated word, she continued to move towards the meeting room. Not long. She came to the door of the meeting room, took a deep breath, then pushed the door open, and called out tentatively. Mechanical pill. Advertisement. Ah, you are indeed here. Seeing that Jijiwan was really here, Sanlun Sha walked in with brisk steps. There was a little smug look on his face. It seemed that he was happy to guess that the machine pill was here. I have to hand in my lecture notes today, mechanical pill? Sanlu took a closer look and found that Jiwan didn't react too much, just sitting motionless on the sofa. Just when she was about to get closer, a somewhat hoarse voice came from the machine. Sorry Sanwa, I'll sleep for a while. My notes are on the desk, go get them. Hearing Jijiwan's lazy voice and motionless state, Miwa couldn't help pouting. Sleep for a while. But it's only evening now. For her complaints, Jiwan didn't respond, which made Sanlu a little speechless. Really, after muttering something in a low voice, she walked gently in front of Jiwan, poked Jiwan's head with her free hand, to see if she really fell asleep. However, there was no feedback from the mechanical pill, and it stopped working like a machine that had run out of battery. Open black lens bracket really fell asleep. By the way, where is the main body of the mechanical pill? After confirming that Jijiwan was asleep, Sanwa did not leave in a hurry, but put down the notes in his hand and sat on the sofa next to Jijiwan. Then he said to the puppet with only an empty shell left, I say, mechanical pill. May I visit you next time? Although there was no response, Miwa continued on his own. The last time I played baseball at the exchange meeting, I felt that the distance between me and everyone has shortened a lot. Maybe it's because of professional reasons between the magicians? Before that, no matter how good the relationship was, everyone still seemed to have some reservations. Because if the relationship is too good, it will be uncomfortable when we never see each other again. Having said that, Miwa's mood is slightly down, and the mechanical pill still didn't respond at all. However, unlike the puppet, the Mekamaru body, Yoshinkichi, who has returned to the new base has moist eyes. Still listening to Miwa's nagging quietly without saying a word. However, I really like the relationship we have with each other now. Advertisement, look, you can play baseball now, can't you? Me, I want to make our relationship closer, so, if I have a chance, I will definitely visit you. Inside the stronghold, Jijiwan had just adjusted his emotions when two unexpected guests appeared outside his door. Both of them exuded a strong curse aura. These two people are Xia Youjie and Jianren. But the moment they saw Jijiwan, both of them showed an incredible expression. It was as startling as if seeing a ghost. You are in good health? How can this be? Could it be that guy? No, it's impossible. Xia Youjie asked with a look of shock, and the real person standing beside him also had doubts on his face. The two were momentarily confused, but Jijiwan didn't answer the two of them, but just smiled coldly. You guys are late. Garbage curse spirits. 0.5 At the same time as the voice fell, the machine launched an attack on the two of them in order to directly manipulate the hordes of machines. The real person also looks eager to try. He wants to regain the confidence lost in Bai Ye from Jiwan. Open black lens bracket accumulate more practical experience. Close black lens bracket open black lens bracket as long as I continue to grow, I will definitely be able to defeat that guy. Close black lens bracket. At the same time as the battle was triggered outside the reservoir dam, Bai Ye, who was dressed as a fishing enthusiast, found a comfortable position, opened the fishing rod, put up the umbrella and caught fish. It looks like a big fish will be hooked today, good luck. 94 The ultimate mechanical pill, the real person is desperate. Groups of mechanical puppets attack at the same time under the control of mechanical pills. But real people are not vegetarians. Change your soul form and turn your right hand into a giant hand. Sweep forward at a speed that makes the sound of breaking wind. For a moment, in the narrow space, the mechanical puppet collided with the giant hand, making the sound of gold and iron colliding. Jingle. The giant hand swept across, and the mechanical puppets were destroyed a lot. But when the real person withdrew his giant hand and changed back to its original shape, his pupils shrank suddenly. Except for the damaged puppet, there was no mechanical pill at all. Have you escaped? That's right, he doesn't have to kill us. Really boring. I want a serious fight now, not a cat and mouse game. Inferring that Jijiwan might have escaped, Jianren looked embarrassed. He needs this fight 15 so badly right now. If he can't defeat Jiwan in this battle, he may never regain his confidence. However, just when he was in trouble, suddenly there was a crackling sound on the ground under his feet. The originally flat ground suddenly cracked inch by inch, and stones rose up along the cracks, as if something was about to come out of the ground. Boom! There was a loud sound. The entire space was shattered by a huge force. Among the flying gravel, Jianren and Xia Youjie fled. After escaping from the explosion range, I saw a giant puppet standing in the reservoir. Ultimate Mechanical Pill. Absolute Form. Armored Puppet Ultimate Mechamaru Prototype Number 0. The height of the Ultimate Mechanical Pill is several meters higher than the dam. He looked at the real person coldly as if Godzilla had just emerged from the bottom of the sea. A corner of the reservoir. No one has discovered that there is another person here. Bai Ye was still fishing for his own fish on the shore, but raised his eyes slightly to look at the ultimate machine. Huh? Not bad. I glanced at it appreciatively, and continued fishing again, without the idea of making a move now. On the dam. The real person looked at the ultimate mechanical pill in front of him, and couldn't help sighing. Advertisement, to be able to create such a thing without making a sound, it seems that the dead house should not be underestimated. The real person said something that could trigger all the house circles, and he looked at it seriously. He was calculating rapidly in his mind. Open black lens bracket, he himself should be here, right? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. After all, I definitely don't want to be touched by me, so the position of the control seat is on the head. Close black lens bracket. While the real person was looking at Jiwon was also analyzing his own situation. Sensory feedback blocked. Have Xia Youjie put a trap on you? Not only was I locked inside, but the radio signal was also blocked. However, Jiwon looked at the real person in front of him, and couldn't help showing a smile at the corner of his mouth. Master Bai Ye has already been notified of the location of the meeting, even if he is accounted, I believe he has already prepared for it. Before the adults arrive, let me play with you first. The mechanical pill suddenly turned ruthless, and charged the ultimate mechanical pill for a year without hesitation. Big Cannon. With Jiwon taking the lead, the battle between him and the real person officially begins. Not far from the shore, Xia Youjie was watching everything with a relaxed expression. Bai Ye on the other side was not found at all, but suddenly, Xia Youjie's heart skipped a beat. An ominous premonition suddenly appeared. The hairs on his back couldn't help standing upside down, and even his breathing became a little difficult. This feeling, in between. Although the attack of the mechanical pill can't pull out the real person, it will also bring him a huge obstacle. Can't get close to the main body of the mechanical pill. Got to get him out of that thing first. After the real person made a judgment, he quickly changed his soul form and plunged into the water. However, the water surface that was still tumbling in the waves stopped instantly. The splashed water just stayed in the air for no reason. The action of the ultimate mechanical pill, the real person swimming in the water, and Xia Youjie standing on the shore watching the fire, all shocked at the same time. An unprecedented powerful mantra swept everything in an instant. I can't perceive the source of this magic power, but it actually exists. And it seems that a ferocious beast is always staring at him. Advertisement. Jiwon was secretly pleasantly surprised. Open black lens bracket, it's Lord Bai Ye. Close black lens bracket. Xia Youjie was also so surprised that his face twisted and his body trembled uncontrollably. Its trembling mixed with excitement and fear. Open black lens bracket, it's that guy. Close black lens bracket. As for real people, there is only one thought in my mind right now. Open black lens bracket, I am done. Close black lens bracket, he is all too familiar with this spell. The fear that he wanted to overcome countless times surged into his heart in an instant. Powerless. Weak. Irreversible. The little hope left in my heart was shattered at this moment. Open black lens bracket, I can never beat him. Close black lens bracket, despair spreads in my heart. 013 can't even maintain his fish form. Beads of sweat protruded from his forehead, every inch of skin on his body revealed fear. Open black lens bracket, I will die here this time, right? Close black lens bracket, open black lens bracket, this is good. At least I will never experience such pain again. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, it's not a relief to end like this. Close black lens bracket, for the first time, Jianren had the idea of giving up life. And this thought was also noticed by Bai Ye. Snort. Do you want to be freed like this? It's a little too greedy? Bai Ye smiled slightly at the corner of his mouth, pulled up the hook and released the hooked fish, then whispered again. Let me pass some time. Isn't it better to let you see a little hope for life in despair? With a light wave of the fishing rod in your hand, the fishing line seems to have eyes and flies straight to the real person. Swish. As the sound sounded, the arm of the real person seemed to be cut by a sharp knife. There is no defect in the wound, no trace of blood, and the fracture is clean and smooth. Like a polished marble floor, the real person was stunned for a moment, without any reaction to what happened. And Xia Youjie and Jiwon also gasped. Shocked. 0.95 The autistic real person, the deterrent power of Bai Ye, seeking subscription. Call. With the sound of a wind. In the air between the ultimate mechanical pill and the real person, suddenly a big hand with condensed magic power appeared. With the sound of howling wind, with a palm, The real person who was still in a daze was sent flying. The terrifying impact destroyed everything around it. Similarly, the real person's body was torn apart under this slap. The soul is badly wounded, if it weren't for the sutures all over the body. His body has been turned into a pile of flesh under this palm. Even so, his injuries were on the verge of death. The shadow of death hangs over his heart, desperate, with no way out in sight. There is no ability to resist. Xia Youjie's eyelids twitched even more. Because until now, he has not discovered the location of Bai Ye. Open black lens bracket. What happened? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Obviously I can't feel where it is. But it seems to be everywhere. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Should we wait a little longer? Or give him now? Close black lens bracket. Xia Youjie's eyes fluctuated, and he cast his eyes on the real person not far away, with a hint of murderous intent in his eyes. He wants to absorb the real person, so as to seize the spell, inaction transformation. However, even if he wanted to, he couldn't do it now. Bai Ye's powerful mantra completely restrained his actions. At this moment, he seemed to be in a quagmire, unable to move at all. Can't even talk. The powerful mantra pressure was like sharp blades scraping across his body. Every second is torture. Different from them. Although the mechanical pill was also unable to move, it couldn't feel the pressure of the magic power at all. But from the appearance of Xia Youjie and the real person, he can also see what they're going through. Shocked. Both shocked and admired in my heart. Open black lens bracket as expected of Master Bai Ye, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. It's really too powerful. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Just releasing the magic power has already made them unable to move. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. This strength is probably only comparable to Gojo Satoru, who is known as the strongest magician. Close black lens bracket. No. Master Bai Ye is the strongest. Gojo Satoru is definitely not the opponent of Master Bai Ye. At best, he is the strongest below the strongest. Open black lens bracket. If you can follow Master Bai Ye, those who want to protect you will definitely be able to do it. Close black lens bracket. While Jijiwan secretly sighed that he was following the right person. The four-member team formed by the knotweeds and the others to capture the mechanical pill was completely empty. Advertisement. Looking at the empty room in front of him, he was speechless for a while. Damn it, it's been put together. Go back to Bai Ye's side. Bai Ye flicked the hook lightly and sat down to fish again. While withdrawing the mantra and releasing it, he sent a voice transmission to Jiwan. Jiwan, the real person has been severely injured by me. Whether you can get rid of them here, I will leave it to you. Treat this as a test. After Bai Ye finished speaking, the swim bladder sank and another big fish took the bait. As for Jiwan, after receiving Bai Ye's instructions, they were as excited as if they had been injected with blood. Oh, I will live up to Master Bai Ye's expectations. Jijiwan responded eagerly to Bai Ye. Then he turned the gun and looked at the real person with a sneer. The mechanical iron fist smashed down without hesitation. Boom boom boom. Each blow smashed a big hole in the ground. But just like this, it can't bring fatal harm to the real person. Wait until a wave of attacks falls. Jianren barely recovered from the injury caused by Bai Ye, and took the opportunity to escape from the attack range of the mechanical pill. The seriously injured and dying Jianren managed to escape to the side. He looked at the cold-blooded machine in front of him with almost dead eyes. Then all of a sudden, his eyes lit up. Open black lens bracket. Even if you die, you have to bring someone to be buried with you. Close black lens bracket. With a heartbeat, he opened his mouth wide open. I saw 2 pairs of arms growing out of the mouth, and the operation has been completed. The field expands. In an instant, field expansion completed. Self-closing circle. The closed field formed by countless arms envelops mechanical pills and real people. Okay, game over. The face of the real person is twisted and crazy. The moment the domain was completed, it launched an attack on the machine pill. Inaction transformation. For a moment. If the ultimate mechanical pill is hit hard, it will fall to the ground in an instant. It looks like it has lost momentum. As the ultimate mechanical pill fell, Jianren stood up unsteadily. There was no joy of victory in the battle on his face, but a hint of self-mockery. You didn't stop me. Advertisement, how dare you underestimate me? I'm called a special level curse spirit. Do you think a mere quasi-first level magician can defeat me? Too naive. Too naive. The real man suddenly laughed wildly. Ha ha ha. I want to see what expression you have now. After defeating Jiwan, the real person imagined Bai Ye's remorseful expression for a moment. However, when he was enjoying the pleasure, he suddenly felt a strong sense of disobedience. There is also a feeling of a foreign body piercing the body. At the same time, his already seriously injured soul was hurt again. When he looked back with incredible difficulty, he suddenly found that the mechanical pill that should have been completely dead had somehow come back to life. And it was Ji-won who attacked him. Relying on the trump card, Simple Field, that he had prepared in advance, Gen Yinlu, Ji-won narrowly escaped the killing blow of a real person. He even took this opportunity to launch a fatal blow to the real person. But he didn't care. With the previous reminder from Bai Ye in the test, he used the second Simple Field that he had prepared against the real person. Puff puff, the real person's body swelled instantly, and the blood in the body seemed to burst out of the blood vessels, spurting out along the wound. Boom! With an explosion, the real person's body exploded into several pieces. Like a burst balloon. At the same time, the field also disappeared immediately. At this point, Ji-won finally let go of his guard against the real person. He, Li Zhao, is pretty sure that the real person is dead. Let out a howl of pleasure. Then Ji-won turned his attention to Xia Youjie, who was watching from the sidelines. At this time, Xia Youjie was also stunned. He really didn't expect Ji-won to hide a hand, let alone Bai Ye would appear here. If he knew that Bai Ye would appear, he would never come here easily. At least until he is not fully sure to limit Bai Ye's actions, the last thing he wants to see is Bai Ye. However, even though he is now free and can escape at any time, he still does not dare to act rashly. He always had a hunch. As long as he dares to move, there is a possibility of death. At the moment when he was in a dilemma, a mobile phone rang suddenly from the far bank. Looking up, I saw that familiar figure who couldn't see clearly was sitting there cross-legged. Holding the mobile phone seems to be making a video call with someone. 96 Rico's Night Attack, Life Consultation, Seeking Subscription. I see, Rico-sama. I'll be right back. Beep beep. Before Bai Ye finished speaking, Rico hung up the phone. He let out a helpless breath. Bai Ye looked at the fish in his hand and said to himself, I'll take you as a gift for Lizzie. 11. Put away the fishing gear. Bai Ye disappeared in Gen Youjie's sight in an instant. Then it suddenly appeared above the head of Ji-won. Mechanical pill, let's go here first this time. There are more important things to do. After Bai Ye finished speaking, he didn't give the mechanical pill any time to react, and directly used the copied spell, puppet manipulation, to seize control of the ultimate mechanical pill from the mechanical pill. Then it drove this giant to disappear. Wait until Bai Ye leaves. The real person who picked up a small life seemed to have lost his soul, and his whole body was listless. Open black lens bracket next time. No, I don't want to meet him again. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Shibuya project. I'd better not participate. Close black lens bracket. When the real person recalled the fear just now, he trembled instantly, and a chill came from his back. Xia Youjie, who was on the side, was also not much better. Open black lens bracket, give up to exorcise us. Close black lens bracket, open black lens bracket, why is that? Close black lens bracket, and this kind of 087 incident has happened more than once. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, what conspiracy does he have? Close black lens bracket, open black lens bracket, I can't see through it at all. It's even trickier than Su Nuo. Close black lens bracket. Subconsciously swallowed, raised her slightly trembling hand to wipe the cold sweat off her forehead. Only then did he realize that his robe was soaked with sweat. Open black lens bracket, be sure to seal him in Shibuya. Close black lens bracket, open black lens bracket, absolute, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket, Gojo Satoru, put it aside for now, only that guy can never stay, close black lens bracket. And Bai Ye's side, after hiding the ultimate mechanical pill. Ji-won raised his doubts to Bai Ye. Lord Bai Ye, why don't you take the opportunity to exorcise them? Their next plan is very evil. Advertisement. Before Ji-won finished speaking, Bai Ye raised his hand to stop him. Don't kill them, just because there are more important things to do. Also, the residual value of the two of them has not been fully squeezed. Since we want to use them, we must use all the value. Besides, don't we have you who watched everything here? Bai Ye will not explain anymore when he mentioned this. Some things, he sees too far, even if he explains it, others may not be able to understand it. The value of a real person is indeed not much, but Xia Youjie. It should be said that he is Luo Suo, and he still has a lot of use value. To justifiably overthrow the Gaojan and abolish the decayed organization, killing alone is not enough. For Bai Ye, it is very simple to destroy the upper class. However, if there is no corresponding institution or organization to take over the affairs of the magic world and formulate new rules after the extinction, then the same mistakes will eventually be repeated. The existence of Rosso just happened to be an opportunity to help Bai Ye overthrow and rebuild the high school. After listening to Bai Ye's words, Ji-won also fell into deep thought for a while, as if digesting the information Bai Ye said. Mechanical pill, next, your main body should lie dormant first. As for the high school, just follow the battle plan you made earlier. After Bai Ye finished speaking, he glanced at Ji Wan with certainty. I saw him trembling slightly, it's because of excitement. The tactics I formulated were actually adopted by Lord Bai Ye. It has been definitely approved, nothing excites him more than this. But Bai Ye didn't stay here any longer, and after giving some instructions, he returned home. Seeing Lizzie who was already asleep on the table, Bai Ye took out the clothes and covered Lizzie lightly. Then he cooked the fish he brought back into dishes, and reheated a table full of dishes that Lizzie had prepared, and then asked Lizzie to get up to eat. In fact, Riko had already woken up, but she was so angry that she didn't want to get up and help. BFDJ. It wasn't until Bai Ye called her up to eat that she barely ate a few mouthfuls, then snorted coldly at Bai Ye, rolled her eyes, got up and went back to the room. For Riko's dissatisfaction, Bai Ye is a little helpless. After clearing the table and checking the security around him, he also went back to the room and lay down. Soon drowsiness struck, just as he was about to fall asleep in a daze. Squeak, there was only a sound of opening the door. Advertisement. Then he saw a slender figure creeping towards him in the darkness. Bai Ye didn't get up, but continued to pretend to be asleep. He wanted to see what Lizzie wanted to do. And Riko also thought that Bai Ye had fallen asleep, so she couldn't help muttering softly, "Brother idiot. Come back so late, and there is not even a word of explanation. I'll never talk to you again." Seeing Bai Ye who was sleeping soundly and didn't think about her worrying about her brother as a younger sister at all, Lizzie stomped lightly, picking up the pillow beside her and preparing to sleep at night. Suddenly her cell phone rang. It's her best friend Misato Kuroi's phone number. After hurriedly connecting the phone, Riko looked back with a guilty conscience, and saw that Bai Ye hadn't been woken up, so she felt relieved. "Heijing, it's me. Why are you calling so late? Moshi, is he here, Riko?" "Well, already asleep." "Huh? You were worried all night, but he fell asleep?" Kuroi Misato defended Riko. "Shush. Heijing, please keep your voice down, don't wake him up. It's this time, and you're still talking for him. I see you, there's no way out." After Kuroi complained a few words, he said goodnight to Riko and then hung up the phone. And Riko also let out a sigh of relief, took back the phone, and then turned around secretly. Unexpectedly, when she turned around, she was startled. It turned out that at some point, Bai Ye sat up from the bed. He was looking at her helplessly there. "Riko, what are you doing in my room with a pillow in your hands in the middle of the night?" "Huh. That." Lizzie quickly threw away the pillow in her hand, smiled awkwardly, and thought about what kind of excuse she could find. A shy blush filled her lovely and delicate face. "What's the matter? Did you get bullied in the company?" "Certainly not," Riko quickly explained, as if she had made up her mind, and sat opposite Bai Ye. "Yes. It's life consultation. I want to ask you for life consultation." Gritting her teeth, she finally said the excuse that made her a little embarrassed. But even though it was an excuse, it more or less represented her inner thoughts. "Life counseling." Bai Ye raised his eyebrows, and the corners of his mouth twitched slightly. 97 The Shibuya Incident. Bring that guy, please subscribe. With the deepening of Gaozwan's investigation, and the concealment of the mechanical pill. Finally, the high school made a judgment. Mekamaru defected and was confirmed dead. The news quickly spread throughout the Kyoto campus. Many people were silent and sad for a few seconds, and then returned to normal. Only Sanlun Shaw is still in the midst of sadness. She didn't want to believe that Jijiwan was a traitor, let alone that Jijiwan died just like that. However, the facts before her eyes were just that. All the puppets belonging to the mechanical pill registered in Gaojian fell into silence, and did not wake up again anyway. And at a destroyed reservoir in the suburbs, the filth left by the machine pill and bloodstains were also found. At the same time, the super-cursed real person and the super-cursed Master Xia Youjie's curse power is also confirmed. Other than that, no trace of anyone else was found. All signs point to one result: the death of the mechanical pill. The spell calendar is October 31, 2018. Xia Youjie's plan has been deployed. Incidents can be initiated at any time, but now he felt a strong anxiety. Even his hands trembled uncontrollably. The entrustment account has been adjusted, and there is no problem in handing over the spell power or the word spirit to other people. Everything has been successfully deployed, it's perfect. But why? Why am I so uneasy? Looking at his hands, Xia Youjie couldn't help asking. He was just too confused. The plan this time went really smoothly, so smoothly that there were no obstacles. But he knew very well that with the existence of Bai Ye, no matter what he said, it was impossible not to notice his movements. But he was not stopped by Bai Ye. Is there some kind of conspiracy? Xia Youjie began to doubt himself. He even looked forward to Bai Ye suddenly appearing in front of his eyes now, and then told him coldly, "I have seen through all your plans. At least in this way, he doesn't have to worry about it all the time, and doesn't have to worry about falling short at a certain important node. However, he can imagine such a result. Bai Ye will definitely show up at a critical moment and disrupt all his plans. However, he had to continue with the plan. If he gives up now, his loss will be even greater. And this might be an opportunity to seal Bai Ye away. Only, Xia Youjie glanced at the real person beside him and couldn't help frowning. Advertisement at this time, the real person completely lost his confidence. As if possessed by a demon, he kept muttering to himself. Is True Yinlu a simple domain? Shouldn't we go to the Shibuya incident? If you don't go, don't go. If you go, you will die. If you don't go, you will still die, right? Since we are all going to die, should I die more decently? No, it's better to die more comfortably. He is no match for me. I'm no match for him. Is he inferior to me or am I inferior to him? Xia Youjie shook his head slightly at the mad talk of the real person. After some struggle and hesitation, he gritted his teeth and decided to launch an incident. 1900 that night. Outside Shibuya subway station. This is the rush hour for get off work, and there is a huge flow of people. Xia Youjie chose to launch the incident at this time. Centering on Tokyo Department Store and Tokyo Toyoko Store, a tent with a radius of about 400 meters has been developed. Most of the people trapped in the tent were in panic. Such a huge account was quickly discovered by the window of the high school and reported to the high school. Yi Dg went to investigate the situation first as an auxiliary supervisor. And the high school also quickly grouped the existing magicians in order to resolve the crisis situation. At the same time, Gojo Satoru had just left Bai Ye, and was digesting the task Bai Ye had given him. But he could clearly see some excitement at this time. Teacher Bai Ye is finally willing to meet his classmates, it's so great. Not only can Knotweed and others look up to Teacher Bai Ye, but also let the students know that I am not lying. That's great. Can't wait, soon. Gojo Satoru found Knotweed and the others with a happy mood. Huh? Teacher Wujo. Why are you here? Seeing Gojo Satoru appearing here, the Knotweeds who were grouping were puzzled. Gojo Satoru nodded happily, and then said expectantly, everyone, please work hard this time. After the task is over, I will introduce the idol to you. Contrary to Gojo Satoru's excited expression, the three of them were expressionless when they heard the news. And Fu Heiwei complained directly, you have said this sentence for 10 years. You are not bored, we are all tired of listening. After Fu Hei finished complaining, he secretly said in his heart, I don't know if that person really exists, but now I can only pin my hopes on him. Advertisement. Fu Heihui couldn't help but see Bai Ye's powerful and incomparable figure in his heart. Asking for flowers. Just thinking about it, sweat was faintly visible on his forehead, and his face was extremely pale. Thinking of that terrifying guy, Fu Hei could only choose to believe in Gojo Satoru. Open black lens bracket. After this time is over, we will be able to see you, Gojo-sensei's idol. Close black lens bracket. Tukao to Tukao, but his heart is still looking forward to it. And Knotweed and Wild Rose didn't react too much, after all, who made Gojo Satoru brag for so long but never actually saw that person once. So they are also skeptical about the existence of this idol. However, Gojo Satoru was immersed in his own fantasy all the time, and didn't pay attention to everyone's reaction. And Shibuya subway station. At this time, the crowd immediately rioted. Just seconds before, a large crowd at the intersection was sucked into the subway station. Let the rest of the people all panic. People who witnessed all this with their own eyes also got a piece of news at this time. Bring that guy here, or you're all going to die. As soon as the news spread, everyone panicked, desperately jumped to the edge of the tent and roared. All of them had hideous faces. Bring that guy here. Quick. Who, hurry up and bring that guy. Who the hell is that guy? I don't know. But I heard that if that guy doesn't come, we will never be able to get out. And some other people who don't know why saw their roar and panic, and looked disgusted. He even took pictures with his mobile phone and complained. Why can't these big men calm down when it comes to critical moments? However, it is indeed a bit scary to be unable to go out like this, but other than that, nothing happened. What are they panicking about? The phone has no signal. Their complaints were heard by those who knew the situation, and they turned their heads to look at the unknown people with horror expressions on their faces and said, didn't you see it just now? See what? Everyone was sucked away. It's like water in a bathtub that has been unplugged. At this time, inside the Shibuya subway station, a group of people to spend Halloween. Bai Ye stood together with 3 people in the same Halloween costumes. Okay, then do as I say. After Bai Ye finished speaking, the 3 took orders and left quickly. He was the only one left standing there dressed as a vampire. Next, it's time for Tuo Zhen to fulfill the bondage he made before, right? 98 looks ordinary, no retreat at all. 2031. Shibuya subway station. Gojo Satoru appeared here alone according to Bai Ye's order. After confirming the appearance of Gojo Satoru, Bai Ye smiled slightly, and without Gojo Satoru noticing, he quickly hid in the crowd with his vampire costume. No one has discovered Bai Ye as an outlier. Looking at the crowds of people below, Wu Jiao squatted on the steps and sighed a little annoyed. Ah, this number of people is a bit bad, and there is also a tent that is centered here, just like the outside, which is specially used to block off ordinary citizens. Having said that, a eager smile appeared on his face. If it's just me, I'm afraid there will be a little trouble, but Teacher Bai Ye must have arrived long ago. After searching the crowd, he did not find any trace left by day and night. But 423 is that he is not lost, but even more excited. Sure enough, no matter how hard I try, I still can't catch up with Teacher Bai Ye. But this is what motivates me to work harder. Teacher Bai Ye, just watch it, I will definitely not disappoint your expectations. After Gojo Satoru finished speaking, he jumped down the steps, stepped on the heads of the crowd and headed towards the place where the spell power was the strongest. However, his actions also surprised the crowd, especially those who were stepped on began to complain. Wow! Who is this guy? What is he going to do? Not only those people, even Bai Ye shook his head helplessly. It's still too loud. It seems that his strength still makes him a little conceited. Let him be a little proud this time. After Bai Ye muttered softly, he stopped staying any longer, he was going to prepare for the next thing. After Bai Ye left, Gojo Satoru went too far. Fly directly into the sky under the eyes of everyone, causing the crowd to exclaim. Many people took out their mobile phones to take pictures. Wow! Is that guy a supernatural being? Is it my eyesight? Magic. There must be a magician nearby, they're playing tricks. Ignore the surprise in the crowd. Gojo Satoru looked at the crowd below, and couldn't help muttering softly. Well, combined with Teacher Bai Ye's words, I probably understand what their intentions are. Advertisement. Does it take so much effort to seal me? Gojo Satoru rubbed his chin, thought for a while, and then smiled with his white teeth. If it's Teacher Bai Ye, it must be a bigger battle than this. However, let's see what tricks you can play next. 2039. Castle Peak Cemetery. Knotweed, who was assigned to a team with level 1 magician Mingming, was surprised after hearing the tactical arrangement. All left to Gojo Sensei alone? I understand the truth, but there is something we can help with, isn't there? It's like being a rescuer or something. Unlike the anxious Knotweed, both Mingming and Yu appear calm. He just calmly answered the question of Polygonum Cuspidatum. Yes, so we are going to Shibuya now. Ah, is it? When Yu, who was standing by the side, heard this, she immediately said in a displeased tone. You actually want your sister as a backup. Gojo Satoru is such a luxurious guy. Especially when he thought of his dear sister going to help other people, he lost all energy immediately. You can't think of him as an ordinary man. My sister is not an ordinary woman. Oh, Yu, why are you so attractive? Seeing the two siblings there, you and me, Knotweed was speechless. And at this moment, Mingming received a call notification. After listening to the call, Mingming said, Kumba, the destination has changed. The same tent was lowered at Meiji Jingamai Station, we are going there. You have to run. You have to keep up, okay, got it. Hearing that there was going to be a fight, the exercise he had been doing all this time was finally able to be put to use, and the Knotweed suddenly became energetic. Inside Shibuya subway station, 5 floors underground. Bai Ye has already gone down one step ahead of Wujo Wu. Still dressed in a vampire suit, it looks unremarkable. But the moment he appeared, the 3 people who had been waiting here for a long time were shocked, and their bodies began to tremble involuntarily. Especially after personally experiencing Bai Ye's terrifying Luhu and Wayu, my nerves suddenly tense. As for the bulging phase, he was trembling with anger. He smelled a strong murderous breath from Bai Ye. From this point, he can conclude that the person who killed his 2 younger brothers was the guy in front of him. In an instant, the bulging phase exploded with anger. UB ******************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** Advertisement. You are the murderer who killed my two younger brothers. Inexplicably, Zhang Shang was about to make a move, but was stopped by Lu Hu beside him. Calm down, this guy is dangerous. Your brother's revenge can be avenged, but you alone can't do it. If you are impulsive, we will be defeated one by one. Don't talk about revenge, even you will die here. Under Lu Hu's persuasion, Zhang Shang calmed down. But he still looked fiercely at Bai Ye. Oh, very nice eyes, Bai Ye praised. If eyes could kill, I would have died just now, right? Bai Ye smiled slightly at the corner of his mouth, and took the initiative to speak out to stimulate the swelling. It seems that you were well prepared this time. Looking around, Bai Ye said slightly jokingly. After trying hard to overcome the fear in her heart, Lu Hu bit the bullet and had a conversation with Bai Ye. It's you. Have you thought about the excuse you will use after your first defeat? In this regard, Day and Night just smiled. If you lose again this time, you won't have to retreat and wait for the next chance, okay? Right in the middle of the conversation, brush, brush, brush. The exit above Bai Ye's head leading to the upper floor was blocked by Hua Yu. Call, for their small move, Bai Ye sighed helplessly. You don't need to work so hard, I won't escape anyway. If I run away, you will kill everyone here, am I right? It's you guys, are you ready to die? For Bai Ye's ordinary sentence, the three of them felt extremely pressured, and they all smelled the breath of death from it. But they have no way out. Even if it is death, you can only bite the bullet. If you ran away. My answer is. While Lu Hu was speaking, the corners of her mouth curled up with a hint of ferocity. Even if you don't run, kill them all. While Lu Hu was speaking, the three of them took action together. With a hideous smile on his face, however, in an instant, a strong sense of disobedience suddenly appeared. The actions of the three people rushed to nothing at the same time. 99 or is there something he can't do? Shocking news, please order in full. The person who was supposed to be in front of them disappeared without a trace the moment they shot. All attacks fail. The three of them were stunned. Open black lens bracket, how can it be? Close black lens bracket, open black lens bracket, how could the person who was right in front of me be rescued by him in an instant? Close black lens bracket. Lu Hu saw that the people who were in front of him were standing behind Bai Ye, and he couldn't help but shudder. Needless to say, Hua Yu and Bao Shang were equally stunned. After a brief surprise, Hua Yu and Lu Hu looked at each other, and they attacked Bai Ye with a tacit understanding. With the cooperation of each other, they will attack one after the other. However, their attacks all stopped in front of Bai Ye, and they couldn't go any further. Unlimited spells. The closer you get to Bai Ye, the slower the speed will become. From an outsider's perspective, Bai Ye's surroundings seemed to be blocked by an invisible transparent wall. But Lu Hu and Hua Yu both knew the reason why they couldn't beat Bai Ye. Since he couldn't fight, Yu changed his strategy. Field extension. This is their trump card. Realm extension is the same as True Yinlu, which belongs to the simple field. In this field, even Bai Ye may not be able to dodge the attack by 15. Boom. The two attacked and fell, only hit one piece of ruins. After all, the simple field is not a field expansion, and it cannot be completely guaranteed, so Bai Ye easily dodged the attacks of the two. I see. Bai Ye quickly understood the principle of this trick, and took the initiative to make it public. Does it only cover its own domain? Although the effect of must hit has been weakened, it will indeed neutralize the spell, so that your attacks can hit me. Well, it seems that you have prepared specifically for me. This is worthy of praise. Bai Ye could not help but praise. Then the topic changed, and he said regretfully, to be honest, I was really taken aback by you. For Bai Ye to take the initiative to speak, Lu Hu is naturally very willing. After all, their task is to hold Bai Ye here for 20 minutes. Give Xia Youjie time to prepare for the prison gate. So Lu Hu also used dialogue as much as possible to delay time, saying, What, have you thought of an excuse for defeat? What I mean is that you actually want to defeat me with this level of means. I was really taken aback by your pig brains. Didn't Xia Youjie tell you? You have no chance of winning in the field. Bai Ye smiled lightly, raised his hand and raised his index finger to shake the two of them. Lu Hu and Hua Yu were startled. A dangerous signal came from Bai Ye. This is something they have never felt with Bai Ye before. Advertisement killing intent, like the real thing. Everyone on the 5th floor felt chills down their spines. Just this ray of killing intent released by Bai Ye shocked everyone present. Come on, I don't move at all. Didn't you just yell at me not to run away? Seeing that they were indifferent, Bai Ye even made provocative words. That weed over there obviously can't speak, but the meaning can be conveyed to my brain. It's really disgusting. Let's get rid of you first. After Bai Ye finished speaking, Hua Yu, who was standing well in the distance, was cut off the branch above his eyes by a slash. Then he walked up to the two of them in one step, and punched out without any hesitation. 10-stroke curse. Directly beat Lu Hu and Hua Yu until they spat out a mouthful of blood. Bai Ye's attack was very heavy, but when it landed on the two of them, it didn't knock them back, but only caused them do damage. Although blood was still hanging from the corners of the mouths of the two who had been hit, they were super cursed after all. It didn't take long to strike back at Bai Ye. However, their attacks were easily dodged by Bai Ye, and Bai Ye seized the opportunity instead. Crack, crack, with the sound of two crisp bones breaking. Both arms were broken by Bai Ye. Hua Yu and Lu Hu distanced themselves from Bai Ye. But Lu Hu was bitten to death by Bai Ye. This frightened Lu Hu and her big Kazilon eyes widened. At the same time, it also misled Hana Yu. Open black lens bracket. His target is still Luhu. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. The declaration just now was just his psychological inducement, and this man has lifted the infinite trap by himself. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. He chose to abandon the fine-tuning of the technique, and it seems that he intends to switch to simple mantra operations for compact attacks in this empty space. Close black lens bracket. However, in this way, we don't need to use the crowd anymore, we only need to cast spells. After Hua Yu made a judgment, she cancelled the domain extension and launched a magical attack on Bai Ye. And at the moment when he lifted the domain extension, a great sense of crisis swept through his body. Death hangs in his heart. Lu Hu was even more frightened and yelled, "Don't cancel the extension, Hanayu." However, his shouting was still one step slower after all. The moment Hua Yu lifted the extension, Bai Ye attacked one after another. Slash. With a soft sound from Bai Ye, its body was transformed into 3 sections by an invisible spell. Suffered instantly, and then Bai Ye used, Ba, again. Advertisement. This is a fatal blow adjusted according to the strength of the spell difference. Two-faced Su Nuo's operation method, it's just more than 10 times stronger after being copied by Bai Ye. Hua Yu's spell power dropped several levels in an instant. Dying. But even so, he's not dead yet, and Hua Yu, who was hit hard, also understood a truth at this moment. Sure enough, the extension and birth techniques cannot be used at the same time. Close black lens bracket. As a bystander, Lu Hu was even more shocked. Before that, he always thought that Bai Ye was also a member of the Wuzhou family, just a magician who could spell with no lower limit and was at the same level as Wuzhou Wu. But just now, he clearly felt 2 other different spells. Open black lens bracket. This guy is definitely stronger than Gojo Satoru. Close black lens bracket. After actually fighting Bai Ye, 537, the most authentic experience came out of his heart. Open black lens bracket. This guy. Is there anything you can't do? Close black lens bracket. And at such a tense moment. Boom. With an explosion. The exit sealed by Hana was destroyed by Gojo Satoru. Then slowly appear from above. Open black lens bracket. Oh no. Close black lens bracket. These 3 words rose from the hearts of Hua Yu, Lu Hu, Zhangshang, and Xia Youjie, who had been hiding aside to prepare for the prison gate at the same time. The great pressure was in vain. They can't handle Bai Ye alone, let alone Wu Tiaoyu now. And, what worries them the most is that it is still unclear about the relationship between Bai Ye and Gojo Satoru. Open black lens bracket. I can be sure that guy is not from a high school. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Otherwise, the high school will not send Wutaowu over again. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. I hope the 2 of them are not the same way. Close black lens bracket. Xia Youjie couldn't help praying secretly in his heart. However, things always backfired. The moment he saw Bai Ye, Gojo Satoru was surprised. Exclaimed. "Ah! Teacher Bai Ye." Everyone was startled, their movements stopped, and they stared blankly at the 2 people not far away. Open black lens bracket. Are they masters and apprentices? Close black lens bracket. Shocked. Everyone was shocked by Gojo Satoru's words. There was a slight chill down the back, and they all looked at Bai Ye with fearful eyes. An indescribable sense of despair passed between them. 100 Exercising the super cursed Hua Yu. What are you doing? Seek full order. They turned out to be masters and apprentices? Xia Youjie, who was hiding aside, was stunned when he heard the news, and a sense of powerlessness swept over his whole body. For a moment, I felt funny for my previous thoughts. I even imagined that they could be hostile, but he didn't give up. Instead, there was a glimmer of hope amidst despair. Maybe we can use this opportunity to kill one of them. Another word that is sealed. Maybe there is no possibility of carrying out the next plan. Xia Youjie's eyes were determined, and he planned to kill the 2 of them here. However, his idea was doomed to fail, because Bai Ye has already left after Gojo Enlightenment. The main battlefield here was handed over to Gojo Satoru. Before Bai Ye left, Bai Ye's voice suddenly sounded in Xia Youjie's mind. "Raso, keep working hard, show me your worth." The sound stopped abruptly, but Xia Youjie felt that someone had patted him on the shoulder. But when he looked back, there was nothing. While Raso was still in shock, Bai Ye had already rushed to the next battlefield. He wants to conquer 2 powerful men there, first-class magician Nanami Jianren and the first-level sorcerer Zenyuan Japairan. This is also one of the reasons why he didn't want to just deal with Raso like this. With this incident, Bai Ye can not only strengthen his own team, but also weaken the strength of Gaojan, which can be said to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. He couldn't bear to exterminate Raso like this. Shire, Jiwan, you 2 act according to the predetermined plan. Bai Ye did not forget to remind the 2 of them, and the 2 who received the news have already made their respective preparations. As soon as the time comes, they will take action. The basement 5th floor of Shibuya subway station. After Bai Ye gave the endgame to Gojo Satoru, the atmosphere suddenly became weird. Especially when Liuhu and the others learned about the relationship between Gojo Satoru and Bai Ye, they all instantly petrified. Is that guy called Bai Ye? I didn't expect you to be his disciple? Looking at Gojo Satoru, who was eager to try in front of her, Liuhu felt something from the bottom of her heart. Furious. I was actually hanged and beaten by a pair of master and apprentice in turn. Advertisement shame. Great shame. Under the fury, the army panicked. Joined forces with Hana to launch an attack on Gojo Satoru. But Gojo Satoru had a calm look on his face, after analyzing the battle situation on the field. He decided to be the first to exterminate the severely injured Hana Yu. This big idiot here has been severely injured by teacher Bai Ye, so it shouldn't be able to hold on anymore, right? While Gojo Satoru was speaking, an evil smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Then, under Liuhu's horrified gaze, he directly used the spell power enough to exorcise Hua Yu directly. Just a bump. Hua Yu, who had already suffered heavy injuries, was instantly defeated, and was pushed to the concrete wall behind him by the huge spell power. Open black lens bracket. Hana can't block this attack. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Rescue is too late. Close black lens bracket. Such thoughts flashed through Liuhu's mind. Gojo Satoru, look this way. Before she had time to think about it, Liuhu immediately set her target on the ordinary people beside her. I want to use this to coerce Gojo to stop. However, Gojo Satoru was unmoved in the slightest. The magic power poured into Hana Yu's body. Even the wall behind Hua Yu was squeezed out by the magic power to form a huge pothole. It looks like a huge crater blasted by a shell. As for Hua Yu's body, it was reduced to ashes under the destruction of this spell. Not to mention rebirth, even a slightly larger piece of meat can be found. Hana Yu was completely wiped out. 2103, Subway Meiji Jingamai Station. At this time, 2 hours had passed since the Shibuya incident. The tents under the Meiji Jingu Shrine are the same as those under the Shibuya station. There are also a large number of remodelers placed in the gap between the two. And at Meiji Jingamai Station, Bai Ye's figure appeared here. With his hands in his pockets, he walked down the steps slowly, only to see a locust monster that didn't look too smart grabbing a dead body and nod wildly. HMPH, a pirated version of Cell. Bai Ye glanced at the locust monster and didn't pay attention to him, just snorted coldly. There are some similarities with Sharu before evolution, but I don't know how the strength compares with Sharu. The locust monster also found Bai Ye standing on the steps. Advertisement? What are you looking at? Boom. As soon as the locust monster's voice fell, Bai Ye punched it and flew out, and there were a few teeth flying out with it. What are you looking at? What's wrong with you? Bai Ye wiped his fist and said coldly. This punch did not use spells, it relied entirely on its own physical skills to blow the locust monster several hundred kilograms away with one punch, and at the same time caused a lot of damage to it. The locust monster that was blown away in an instant was stunned, with green blood on its face, a few teeth fell out, and said in a leaky voice. Are you a spellcaster? I tell you the magician, I'm so smart, I can count from 1 to 10. Oh, is it so? Then let me test you with a question. What is 10 plus 1? Bai Ye smirked and looked at the locust monster who was counting fingers in a panic. 1, 2, 3, 9, 10, 1, 1, 2, 3, 9, 10, 1. After counting several times in a row, the locust monster still couldn't figure out what 10 plus 1 equals, and his forehead was sweating in a hurry. Have you figured it out? I'm going to publish the answer. Urgent. As soon as he heard that Bai Ye was going to announce the answer, the locust monster became anxious immediately, and immediately raised his voice. Don't you take me for a fool. This little thing can't trouble me. Because I'm so smart, this little thing won't bother me. The locust monster muttered and kept counting, but no matter how many times he tried, he still couldn't count the numbers after 10 from his hands. Are you really smart? The locust monster whose IQ was questioned suddenly got anxious, and shouted, I'm so smart. I can even taste the taste. Good Li Hao, the taste of human beings transformed by real people is much worse than that of ordinary people. Woo. Boom. Before he finished speaking, Day and Night punched him away again. It's 11, idiot. Being attacked continuously and being called an idiot, the locust monster was furious. You are not allowed to call me an idiot, it seems that you are not smart. You don't know what curse I am, do you? Although the locust monster kept spitting blood, he still said proudly. Did you know? In this world, the idiots die first. Following the words, the locust monster clenched its fists and wanted to hit Bai Ye. But at this moment, Bai Ye said lightly again, Aren't you a locust monster? The action stopped abruptly. The locust monster stopped all its movements, and looked at Bai Ye in front of him in surprise, as if it was facing a big enemy. Open black lens bracket. This guy is very smart. Close black lens bracket.